Hey everyone, this is Dr. David checking in for our annual, what I like to call the webinar pre-game warm-up. We will start promptly around 4 p.m. Pacific time. We are live streaming this particular training, which is what I consider my webinars to be, to both Zoom and YouTube at the same time. The chats are always in real time, so if you type something in the chat box, I will see it at the moment you type it. However, especially for you folks joining us from the YouTube side, there is a lag between the Zoom platform that we're using to run this particular training until it hits you on the YouTube channel. So if you ask a question and it takes me a while to answer, that could be why. There are several ways to get your questions answered. These webinars tend to go long, so if you were tuning in and planning to be in and out in 90 minutes or less, that's probably not going to happen. Our webinars are very, very content heavy. They're very, very dependent on audience interaction. In other words, the more you do the drills that we're going to guide you through, the more powerfully you're going to have an experience. And that's really the point of these trainings, is to give you an experience so that you can come away with A, proof that this stuff can actually work and it can work for you, but B, also so that you can learn the tool and go out and apply it immediately into your life to start shaping and creating the life you want, to change the direction your life is going now and generate a new one for yourself. So we use what we commonly call a free-form webinar, and what that means is that this webinar will come in 3 parts. The first part will be me laying the foundations, how the mind works, how you can work with your own mind, tapping into some of your most powerful energy sources mentally, physically, and emotionally, and then how to channel those in the direction you want them to go, and or to uncover things that need to be resolved for yourself. That's the first part of the webinar. We're going to give you as much content as we can give you during the first part of the webinar. That usually runs anywhere from 60 to 75 minutes. At the 60 to 75 minute mark, we're going to jump into part 2 of the webinar. Part 2 of the webinar is all about me sharing with you a special set of programs and packages I've put together to allow you to build on the foundations I've just given you and take your learning and your training even further. You're going to come away with some of the most powerful, fastest tools for personal transformation work on the planet for free on this webinar. But they're part of a much larger system. And so if you decide after experiencing these things for yourself that you want to take it further, that you deserve something better, then we're going to show you what to do next to level up your life and everyone who cares about life, if you want to use it for that. Part 3 of the webinar is where we circle back to part 1 of the webinar, and we begin to actually build on the foundations that we laid in round 1. We're going to continue to actually teach and give you even more techniques, more powerful experiences, so that you can understand that there is no limit to what you can do with these skills and these techniques. My job here is to give you an experience and then show you where to go to level up if it's a track that resonates with you. You're gonna have questions. It's natural. And I'll be honest with you. I love questions. I absolutely love questions. The problem, of course, is that the more questions I answer, the less content that I've laid out for you that we tend to get to. So, in the interest of making sure that you guys all come away with the answers that you really need, there's going to be 3 ways that you can get your questions answered. The first one, obviously, is to type it in the chat. But as you can see, we start picking up speed, and that chat goes by pretty fast. So sometimes I miss those questions, right? So if you really want the question answered, you can keep asking the question in the chat. If it's relevant to the part of the webinar that we're on, and it's not going to pull us away and go take us down a rabbit hole, then I may actually just answer that question right then and there. You got your answer, you're good to go. However, as is often the case, everybody's got questions, everybody's asking about different things, and I have to be very careful in the questions that I answer. However, we're going to have a very healthy mix of people who are brand new to Planet David and people who've been in the Planet David sphere for 6 months, a year, 12 years, 10 years, 3 years, and they've gone out into the world and they've used these techniques over and over and over again, and they have absolute confidence in them because they've had the experience of using them out in the real world. And I call upon all of my Planet David alumni all the people who've actually used these techniques out in the world, if some of our new people ask a question that you have an answer for, in other words, you've gone out into the world, used our technology to solve that problem, I invite you to reach out to the people asking the questions and answer that question for them. If you're still not satisfied with that answer, you want me to answer it personally, the third way that you can get your questions answered is at the end of this webinar, YouTube will automatically process the footage and it'll put a replay available on our YouTube channel. All you have to do at the end of the webinar is go to the comment section of our YouTube channel, type in your questions, and I make it a practice of going over my YouTube comment sections 2 or 3, 4 times a day and making sure when there are questions asked that I answer those questions. Okay? So there's 3 ways you can get your questions answered. You're going to need a pen, you're going to need paper, you're going to need caffeinated beverages, and anything that creates a heightened state of neuroplasticity and a sincere desire to have a great friggin' time, do some drills, experience some skills, and figure out in a very fast, easy to use way how to take charge of your own mind and get your life on the fast track to being the best version of yourself that you can be. That being said, we also have a very strict anti-troll policy. We have at least 3 people at any given moment manning the chat. So if we get people who are just trolling and being troublemakers, there's a 0 tolerance policy. We'll just boot you. Okay? This is a positive place. Try to keep it positive. If you have legitimate questions, we'll try to answer those questions as directly as possible. But at the same time, you've got to preserve the quality of the learning experience for everyone. So, I love you all. I know you're all here for the right reasons. And it is 3:44 p.m. Pacific time by my clock. I will jump on with the official start time at about 4 p.m. And I will probably go over everything I've just said once again with a little bit more detail, just so we're very clear on things. Okay? So, Ethereal Vixen wants to know, how do you program yourself to 0 fucks given? There is a way to do that, actually, but you got to be careful because sometimes that's the path to sociopathy. We want to be careful about that. Anyway, it is 3:44. I will see you in 15. Get ready to do the drills, to get some skills, to learn cool stuff with other people who want to do cool stuff. I'm Dr. David. I'll see you real soon. Take care. Hello, 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 everyone. This is Dr. David Snyder. Welcome to Mental Healing, Secrets of How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind. I am super, super excited to be with you today. This particular set of techniques and skills that I'm going to be sharing with you is probably one of the most powerful systems or sets of tools I have come across in probably 30 or 40 years of exploring personal transformation, alchemy, and things of that nature. So before we get into the content of tonight's webinar, I want to warn you about there's a couple of administrative things and other things I want to kind of prime you with. So first and foremost, how many of you, by a show of hands, this is a very participation heavy webinar. So the more you participate, the more you're going to get out of it. I guarantee you that my job here is not to prove anything to you. You don't have to believe any of the crap, I got to come up with a cool acronym for that you're going to learn tonight. All you got to do is do it with an open mind. And I will teach you some of the most powerful, fastest ways to change how you think, to remove blocks to your success, get over limiting beliefs, and all the other things that put a dead stop halt to procrastination, become more attractive, charismatic, all these other things. But the secret to this is you gotta do the drills. If you do the drills, you're gonna have an experience. When you have an experience, everything opens up for you. Now the best part about the drills and the things we're gonna guide you through is they're not belief dependent. In other words, you don't have to believe they'll work. You just have to pretend they'll work, and it'll still work. You know, we spent a lot of time in Planet David distilling down the technology to a set of mechanics. Now, does belief have a factor in some things? Yes. You need minimal belief to do this. You just have to have an open mind and play with it, which is one of the first things I'm going to teach you is the first most powerful key to learning anything up to 30% better. But before we do that, I want to just kind of level the playing field with, first of all, if you are used to a classical webinar where the guy comes on and he talks and he teases you for 60 minutes and then spends the next 40 minutes going, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, you're going to be a little disappointed because we use what we call a free form webinar. And what that means is for the first 60 to 75 minutes, I am going to give you as much foundations, as many experiences that prove to you on a deep level that you have this power inside of you and you can tap into it. I'm going to build some foundations. I'm going to give you some experiences. Part 2 of the webinar, I'm going to show you a package that I've put together, a program that I've developed for helping you take these skill sets even further from the comfort of your own home, if that's what you want to do. Part 3 of our webinar is going to be me circling back to the foundations that we laid in part 1. And this is where we customize the content of tonight's webinar to exactly the sticking points the majority of you want to learn. Okay? So this webinar is really all about you. Yes, I'm facilitating it and I'm teaching you cool stuff, but it's really about you, giving you some tools that you can just grab a hold of, step out into the world, and make changes starting tonight. So, a couple of things. Now, obviously, in the terms of mental healing and how to reprogram your subconscious mind, if this is the scope of everything that there is to learn, we got time for this. So my commitment to you, my promise to you, is that I will take you as far down this rabbit hole as I can in the time that we have. And then I will point you in the direction of where to go to take your skills, take your life to the next level. Is that a fair trade? If you think that's fair, type it in the chat for me, please. Just say that's fair. I'm up for that, right? If you're not, this is probably not the right webinar for you, okay? Cool. Well, let me look at my chat, see what we got here. Everyone, there we go. You guys with me? I'm not seeing anything. Okay, we must have a little bit of a... am I muted? I'm not muted, am I? 6 participants raised their hands, but I don't see them. All right, my YouTubers are online, so not sure what's going on there. Not muted. Okay, very good. All right, so first and foremost, some things you're going to need for tonight. A great attitude. You're going to need some caffeinated and or dopamine stimulating substances to get that brain going on you. You got to have a good attitude, right? Something to write on. There's going to be some drills that we're going to be doing towards the end of, or very soon, in fact, that actually require you to write some stuff. I seen a lot of raised hands. Is there something going on? People are saying that chat is disabled. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see here. That sucks. Hold on a second. Let me see what's going on. Let me go to security, our participants. We got 119 people and I have no chat. How does that work? All right. Well, that's going to throw a damper on my evening. Is the chat still disabled, guys? Can you see this? I'm playing with some chat stuff down here. Try it now, guys. Type in. We getting anywhere with this? We got it? Yay! I figured it out! I figured it out! Woo! The gods of personal transformation are smiling upon me today. Boy, howdy! I have no idea how that switch got flipped. Anyway. Let's jump into this. Okay, so first and foremost, you're going to want to stay on to the end of the webinar because we have this amazingly cool package. Now, most of you know that we always have an offer for you. I'm going to be up front. The offer is a little different this time. It's actually way cooler. So you might want to stay on till the end and really get as much of this as possible. So, a couple of things before, now that we've got that little chat snafu figured out. A, how many of you are brand new to Planet David? If you're brand new, type your name, where you're checking in from, and first time in our brand new functioning chat, so I know how many newbies we got tonight. It's not a bad thing, because it means there's lots of bad habits that I have to fix. Okay, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing everybody, so. Try that. Cool. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I want to thank you all for coming. How many people are coaches or healers do we have online? Anybody in that kind of a profession? Okay, very good. You're in for the smorgasbord of some of the fastest, most personal, most powerful transformation techniques. Some of the things that we've used these materials on is just downright mind-boggling. And we're gonna go through as much as we can in the time that we have. So, if you're a veteran of Planet David, type in your name, how long you've been in Planet David, and where you're checking in from. Cool. Where are you checking in from? All veterans, show yourselves. Good. Okay. So, Michael's here. Okay, good. Cool. Now. Why am I asking this? A, because as I go through the training today, you're going to have questions. A lot of times the questions you have will tend to take us a little off track. And so there's 3 ways to get your questions answered. One is type it in the chat. I'll see it in real time. Those of you joining us from YouTube, I will see your chat in real time, but by the time I answer the question on video, it may be separate. So just keep that in mind. If the question is relevant to the point of the webinar that we're on, I will answer it. If it's not relevant, I will put a pin in it and circle back if there's time. However, you veterans, if you see a question from some of the newer people, even some of the older people, that you have direct experience using our technologies to fix, I encourage you to actually answer the question for them and give them your experience. Because again, you expect me to have an agenda. You expect me to be up here saying, hey, my stuff is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Talk to these people in the chats. Talk to these people who've been around Planet David. Why do they keep coming back? Because this shit works. Shit being special, hypnotic, information techniques or influence techniques. Okay? We have acronyms for everything, especially when we want to curse and I can get away with it. So, that being said, the third way to get your question answered, at the end of this video, at the end of this webinar, this class, YouTube's going to make a copy of it. They're recording as we speak. And so when the replay of this video goes live on the YouTube channel, if you did not get your question answered during the main body of the webinar, if the answers you got from the veterans didn't quite do it for you, and you want me to answer you personally, all you have to do is go to the comment section directly below this video when it goes live, type your question, because I make it a practice to check the comment sections of my channel 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. And I make it a practice to go in and physically answer all of those questions that come up. And if I have an answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't have an answer, I will tell you I don't have an answer, and I will do my best to point you in the direction that I think you'll get the biggest bang for your buck and get your situation resolved in the shortest amount of time possible. Is that fair? 3 ways to get your questions answered. If you think that's fair, type it in the chat for me. Okay. Good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Always more than fair. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all, right? As you can see, I'm wearing a green vest on a green shirt today because my cool gold pattern vest has gone missing. So the universe is telling me to change it up, get a little bit more butchy, I guess. All right. So let's get started at the beginning. For those of you who are brand new to Planet David, you may be asking, who is Dr. David and why the hell should I care, right? Well, first and foremost, I am an actual doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, and I'm currently working on another doctorate in Chinese energetic medicine, which is focused, I'm basically a Qigong doctor, Neigong, Qigong, all the really deep, hidden energetic stuff. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be another 2 or 3 years before I'm done with that, but it's given me a lot of insights into stuff. But I wanted you to know I actually have a doctorate from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. I've been in private practice since 2005, where my specialty clinically is treating physiological illness caused by repressed emotion. And this is important because 90% or more of all the things that plague us in our life, physically, mentally, emotionally, behaviorally, starts with emotion in the mind. And if you understand that, and you understand how the system creates issues, it creates metaphors we call disease, or metaphors we call limiting beliefs, or metaphors that we call blocks to success. If you understand that underlying mechanism, you can make any change you want, and it doesn't matter if it's an emotional one, a physiological one, or a purely behavioral one, because all of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are built the same way. We're going to talk about that throughout the body of this webinar. There's a whole system that the techniques you're going to learn are derived from, but obviously we don't have time for that. So I'm going to cherry pick things for you. I'm going to give you foundations that you absolutely do need. And then I'm going to run you through the drills. I'm going to give you the experiences so you can start cleaning up stuff, removing procrastination, getting over those blocks in a way that's specific to you, right? But in case you were wondering, I've authored over 15 different products on various forms of human influence. And what you see here is a copy of my bio from globalgurus.org. This is where in 2020, when I was named the #1 NLP trainer in the year by Global Gurus. I've been in the top 2 for the last 5 or 6 years. So our technologies are great, they work, people love them, and they will work for you. However, interestingly enough, what you see here is a letter from Global Gurus, and this says, "Dear Dr. David, it is with great pleasure to announce that your training program, Killer Influence, has been chosen by global peers and ranked as the #1 best program in the world for NLP, aka Neuro-Linguistic Programming." Okay, you don't need to be good at NLP to do the things that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. All you got to be able to do is follow a few simple instructions, and you will be amazed at how rapidly your stuff starts to go away and better stuff starts to flow in. Is that cool or not cool? Tell me. You tell me. Okay, that's a copy of our Global Gurus letter. I also, for those of you who have more interest in me, I also have a 10th degree black belt in Okinawan Karate, 4th degree black belt in Shaolin Kung Tao, 2nd degree black belt in Kosho Kempo Ryu. I have a 1st degree black belt in Funkuru Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a certified instructor in Combat Sistema, Cinco Mano Eskrima, and Modern Arnis. I also have more energy healing credentials than McDonald's sells hamburgers. I have a Reiki Master teacher. I've been a Reiki Master since before Reiki was cool. I'm a certified advanced pranic healer and pranic psychotherapist. I have advanced DNA theta healing certification. I'm certified in the Bengston energy healing system and many, many, many different systems of Qigong. Okay? I've been doing Kabbalah since before Madonna heard of Kabbalah, so I'm very much a pre-Madonna, right? But that's all factored in here. Okay, you don't need to know any. Again, why am I telling you all this? And how is it even relevant to tonight? It all goes back to the mind and how you begin to deconstruct things. What do all these things have in common? Martial arts, acupuncture and Oriental medicine, Qigong, neuro-linguistic programming. What's the big deal? Why is this? How does this make you qualified? First and foremost, they all have two things in common. It's state control and pattern recognition. So let me go in and talk about this. Everything human beings do, think, feel, movement, everything that human beings do has a structure to it, right? You know, whether you're an atheist or not, somebody planned this shit because there's no way this could have happened randomly. Everything human beings do has a structure. That structure is analogous to a pattern. If you have eyes to see and ears to hear, those patterns become self-evident. And what you also discover as you go deeper and deeper into these fields and these practices is that the same patterns repeat at different levels of human experience. From the way we create our thoughts and the way we connect with other humans to the way we move our bodies. And so a lot of my training has been, through different mediums, has been through this idea of pattern recognition. How do I look at something? How do I analyze something and observe the pattern of what's going on? Because once you understand the pattern and the structure of what's going on, you know exactly what's going to happen next the vast majority of time. You know exactly where to inject a change or a small tweak that sends that process in a completely different direction. You don't need to know neuroscience. You don't need to know every bell and whistle in the NLP system. You don't need to know acupuncture and Oriental medicine to do this. You just have to have a few simple keys that let you run your neurology the way the universe designed it to be run. The problem is nobody told us how that works. But everything that we do, everything human beings do, has a structure. Okay? Everything that human beings do is in response to a feeling. That's the other part, the state control part. A feeling they want more of, or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. Okay? So the ability to control your psycho-emotional state is one of the most powerful and most important skill sets. Notice I said skill set. It's something you learn to do. Because if you don't learn it, you don't control your state controls you. And your state is a tool. It's a tool of personal transformation, and it's a tool of influence and manifestation. Okay? And again, we're gonna show you step by step how that's relevant. Obviously, our focus is on the healing and the mental aspect of reprogramming your subconscious mind, but you're going to begin to see very, very quickly how these things start to interconnect, right? So when we ask, what does state control and pattern recognition have to do with reprogramming your subconscious mind? Pretty much everything. Pretty much everything, okay? Let me just look at my notes really quick here, see where I'm at. So is this clear? Are we good with this? Cool. All right. Very good. My words have pre-attached emotions. So there's lots of interesting dialogue going on in the chat. I gotta watch out, or I'm gonna get sucked in and distracted. So I love listening to the comments and the questions in the chat. I really do. But if I do that, I'm gonna get sucked into other things, and we're gonna get going on. Hold on a second. I gotta figure out what's going on here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's your first big takeaway. So we know that everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. Yes? A feeling they want more of, a feeling they want a whole lot less of. Now, how would you guys, here's my first present, okay? Some of you have heard this, so don't steal my thunder, right? But how many of you, by show of hands, or that's me in the chat, would like to be 25, 30, 31% better at everything? Anybody? Type it in the chat. Hell yeah? All right. Then here's all you got to do. Remember that word I used earlier, state control? All you've got to do to maximize your learning in minimum time is to adopt and maintain a curious, playful, explorational attitude and move through the world from that energy. Okay? Now, that particular phenomena, that particular statistic or data point comes from one of the most loving, gentle, forgiving, merciful disciplines that exist. Hostage negotiation. Little quote, this man is lying. It's not merciful. Hostage negotiation is all about getting the bad guy to want to give up his victims and his hostages without getting anything in return. Right? What the FBI and the investigators in the behavioral science and the behavioral analysis units discovered was that when the negotiator, the hostage negotiator, approached the interaction with a somewhat playful, explorational, laid-back, casual, no big deal kind of an attitude, he or she was up to 31% more aware, more perceptive, more adaptable, more creative, more persuasive. And his counterpart, the hostage taker, was up to 31% more compliant. Now let's think about this in real world terms. What would your life be like if you could learn anything 30% faster? What would that be like? Type it in the chat. And outside of the LA or New York pickup bar, I don't know of any environments more hostile than hostage negotiation. Right? Now, let's flip the script on that. Okay? So you can learn things with just by an attitude shift, just by a state control shift. You can shorten the learning curve to 2/3 of what it used to be before you do anything else. But now think about this. What if every person that you had to get a decision from was 30% more open and willing to do what you want them to do? What would that do to your life? How would that change your life? What do you think? Get laid a lot. Well, that's exactly what this one simple shift will do for you. Okay? One simple shift creates an entirely new life if you train it. You see, states are learned. Yes, we have the building blocks of all the emotions in us as a byproduct of being a human being. But we have to train our positive states. And you have to understand some other basics behind why this is important. First of all, your neurology, your nervous system, has what is known as a negativity bias. What does that mean? It means that if units of pleasure and pain are equal, okay, in other words, they have the same amplitude, when we encounter a negative event, your nervous system gives it an amplitude of 4 units. So let's say I'm scrolling through my YouTube channel and somebody calls me a flaming faggot charlatan, right? And I feel bad. I've got 4 units of bad feeling now, right? Based on the neuroscience, I need to read at least 4 positive comments to neutralize that. Now it's a suck ratio, but it's something that you can work with, because now if you understand that the neuroscience is telling us this, then you now have a formula, an algorithm, that when you're feeling crappy, you know exactly how much good stuff you need quantifiably to neutralize it and then go the opposite direction and make it powerful. So, just to summarize this, something bad happens to me, my nervous system generates a charge of 4. Something good happens to me, my neurology generates a charge of 1. Get it? If you're with me so far, type that in the chat. Okay. So, based on what I've taught you so far, and a few other things, how many of you would like to be more charming, attractive, confident, and charismatic? Anybody? Type yes in the chat if you think that's cool. How many of you would like to stop being afraid, banish fear, insecurity, or as some of our people on YouTube said, activate the ability to have 0 fucks given? Right? Type that in the chat if that's something you'd like to do. If you'd like to program yourself to create massive financial abundance, surround yourself with the kind of friends that actually love and support you. Protect yourself from the manipulations of people who use these technologies to take advantage of you. If any of that sounds remotely appealing to you, type that in the chat. Cool, excellent. You want it all? Well, I got a whole lot more for that. If you said yes to any 2 or more of these questions, you're in the right place. You're going to want to stay on to the end of the webinar, okay? Because I got a whole bunch of stuff planned for you. Remember, the first part of the webinar is all about foundations. Things that you, just fundamentals that you have to have going in and understand them so you can practice them. Part 2, we're going to show you the system that all these techniques are derived from and how you can get access to that entire system. Part 3, we're going to go back to the foundations and begin to give more and more applications that are specific to why you're here. Okay, I just want to put that out there. We good with that? That's the plan for tonight. And I will stay on as long as I need to for tonight. Okay? Usually it's 2.5 to 3 hours is what we do. So if you were planning on 90 minutes in and out, it's probably not going to happen. All right? Just wanted to let you know. Okay. So my personal promise for you again is if you stay here tonight is I will teach you the most powerful, fast, and direct way to reprogram your mind and body for unlimited success, health, wealth, and happiness. I'm going to teach you in very specific ways how to put a dead stop halt to procrastination. I almost said premature ejaculation. That's not this class. I have another class for that. How to put a dead stop halt to procrastination. How to remove blocks to your success. How to get rid of negative emotions, fear, pain, and of course limiting beliefs. Right? And I'm going to give you the exact steps you need to go from interesting information to maximum lasting transformation in the shortest amount of time possible. You guys ready to play? I'm in a little bit of a playful mood, so I hope you guys are up for that. I'm a little, that's what I was forgetting. I have one more disclaimer for you. If politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies and or premature ejaculation offends you, this is probably not the best use of the next 90 minutes to 3 hours. Okay? So let's start with the 2 most important factors to success. Right? Now, I don't usually ask this, but just for fun, do you guys like it better when I'm talking to you like this, or would you rather see my notes or my PowerPoint? What do you want to do? Type it in the chat. A mix? Both? Okay. I like to bounce back and forth because sometimes I think it breaks up the monotony, but I want you to know that I'm here for you. Okay? So let's do a quick set of bullet points about the things I want to cover tonight, and then we're going to drill down on the things that you find most important. So the first thing I want to talk about are the 2 most important ingredients to success. And this is really, and they're very simple. They're just not always easy. And so that's what I want to share with you, is the simplicity behind this. So here we go. So first and foremost, 2 most important factors for success. We want to talk about 3 ingredients of achievement: the rules of the mind, body-centered energy psychology, reprogramming your subconscious mind and programming your future and clearing your past, and then taking control, how to get the life you want the way we want it. That's on the agenda for tonight. And so the first thing I want to talk about are the 2 most important factors for success. And they're very simple. The first one is identity. In other words, you need to have a sense of who you are and a sense of deservingness for what you want to achieve. So the identity comes down to who you are, who you think you are, your self-concept, which is a sum total of your life experiences, your upbringing, and various systems. Now what you see here, let me just go to make this, why is that not doing that? Okay, so what you see here is a diagram that you'll find in most basic practitioner manuals for neurolinguistic programming. It's called the hierarchy of beliefs. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. And if you want to screenshot it, you can. What you see here at the top of the pyramid is called spirituality and purpose. Now, in some of the systems, we have a class we call Golden Path, which is all about finding your spiritual mission in this life. Most of you who are healers and coaches are probably pretty close to that Golden Path. You're just looking for tools to get better at it and getting back to what the Taoists call your original face. Again, we have that's not the topic of tonight's webinar, but it is relevant. Directly below that, you're going to see identity. Identity forms the foundation of your value systems, what you believe you deserve, what you don't deserve, how you know you're getting what you want, and how you know you're getting what you don't want. Okay? You need to have an identity that says it's okay to be or have something. Okay? If you don't, you will tend to find a way to sabotage yourself. Now, you've all heard stories, and you can type in the chat if this is true for you or not. You've all heard stories about people who they buy a lottery ticket, they win the lottery, and they're great for a year, and then all of a sudden they're fucking more miserable than they had before they had the money. Or they've managed to squander all the money. Right? Why is that? It's because their sense of self doesn't allow them to have that thing that they want. Now, I'm going to show you ways to begin to change that. I'm going to teach you a little bit about what your system's actually doing so that you can understand it from a different perspective, which is really important. Our body's going to do things. Our unconscious mind is going to do things without our conscious consent. It's running the show. And if you don't know the dynamics of it, if you don't know how to interpret what's happening, your conscious mind, your neocortex, that newest, youngest layer of your brain, is going to create a story, a narrative around those body sensations, and your body's going to generate feelings that activate the reticular activating system in your brain, and your perceptual filters are going to change. Now, I just threw a whole lot of neuroscience at you, okay? And I apologize for that. But you need to understand what's actually going on versus what we think is going on. Okay, so we're going to talk a lot about this identity thing. Identity is all about who we are in this world, what we deserve to keep, and what we deserve not to keep. So you've all seen people. You've all probably seen this. You ever go up to a beautiful person, someone who's really, really attractive, and you compliment them on their appearance, and they just find every conceivable way to neutralize the comment. They either They mock on themselves, or they paint an agenda to what you're saying. These are people who have a sense of identity, a sense of self-esteem or self-worth that won't let them accept that kind of information. You guys know what I'm talking about? You guys ever had this? You ever compliment somebody and the first thing they do is they just start finding all kinds of reasons for why they succeeded that had nothing to do with them? Once again, you're seeing a conflict in identity. Okay? So you have to have an identity that supports what you want to attract. Now, I have another class called Hidden Laws of Attraction, where we start looking at what are the subcells, the co-personalities active in your subconscious mind that activate at certain random moments that we either move you forward or sabotage you. We show you how to neutralize those. Okay, but the identity thing is important. Okay, I could spend a week just on the identity level stuff, but we don't have time for it. But is everybody clear on why this is important? Type yes if you're with me. Okay, good. Okay, the next big factor to success is the one that I think probably, the beliefs, again, beliefs go to your identity. So I just want, in case you didn't see this, right? Functional truths. The other thing is action. If you want to get ahead in life, you have to take positive action. For those of you who are, hold on a second, let me share my screen. For those of you who are what I call chronically overtrained, okay, what does this mean? In my world, there are two kinds of people who come to me to learn hypnosis. There's people who want to fix their stuff and move forward in life. They're the action takers. And so they come in, they learn the techniques, they grab them by the cojones, and they go out into the world and they apply them. And they know in their mind that no matter how much they learn, there's always more to learn. Let me bounce back for you on this one. Let me be really, really clear with this, okay? Especially for those of you who suffer from procrastination. This is one of the forms procrastination can take. A lot of people have this idea that in order to begin something, they have to get it all, and they have to understand it, and they have to be done. In my world, I've discovered two categories of people. I call them action takers and the chronically overtrained. Action takers and the chronically overtrained both have similar traits. They both realize that no matter how much there is to learn, there's always more to learn. The difference between the chronically overtrained and the action takers is that the action takers understand that no matter how much more there is to learn, they have enough to start. So they do, and they achieve, and they learn, and they, as one of my mentors, Lisa Sasevich, used to say, they build the plane as they're flying it, right? They start. The other group, they have a belief that there's always more to learn as well, but they also have a belief that they can't start until they're done, but they're never done. So they never start, right? How many times have you caught yourself in that thought process? I don't have it all yet, I can't start. No, you can't. Whatever you have right now is enough to start. But now we get back to this whole action conundrum. Why don't people take action? Why don't they take action? Well, there's two primary reasons they don't take action. They don't want to, or they don't want to. The question becomes, why don't they want to? And that comes down to one of several things. It's either a mindset issue or a skill set issue. In other words, they either have something in their mind that limits them from that prohibits them from taking an action, or they don't know how to take that action. They're missing some skill or some piece of knowledge that would help them move forward. Now, how do you diagnose that for yourself? And I use that word because I'm a doctor and I can. But how do you actually figure out, is the issue or the thing that's holding me back more of a skill set issue or a mindset issue? And what I've found with the majority of my students is, this is a couple simple questions you can ask yourself. If you have something you want to do, right, and you know every single step to take, you know when to take it, where to take it, who to take it with, how long to take it, how long to do it, but you're not, you have a mindset issue. There's some limiting belief, some secondary gain, some fear or phobia, some rage or anger at something in your past, some belief at your identity level that says, no, you can't have that. That's not who you are. That's not something you're not. And it pushes a button and you can't move forward. We're going to show you how to get past that. Okay? But the first thing is what I have a mindset issue or a skill set issue. Now, how do you diagnose if what you have is a skill set issue? First and foremost, if you know, or when you think about achievement and you start salivating on a scale of 0 to 10, you've got a 40 level desire to do it, but you don't know when to start, where to start, who to start it with, right? You have a skill set issue, right? Do you know the exact steps to take? Or do you have an idea of the steps to take or not, right? If you have all this energy and all this desire, but you just don't know where to point it, you're looking at a skill set issue. Now you need to go out and learn something so you can channel that energy in the proper direction. Does that make sense? Okay. It seems very basic, but you know what? A lot of the shit that holds us back is basic. We tend to make it more complicated because we try to apply the wrong part of our brain to fixing the problem. So you might want to write this down. Okay? Irrational problems require irrational solutions. Okay? We talk about psychotherapy and talk therapy and things like that. That has an astronomical cure curve. In other words, it takes forever for people to get resolution that way. Why? Because they spend years talking about their shit from the neocortex level. But that's not where your stuff is stored. That's not what caused the problem. The idea there is if I just consciously understand why I'm doing these things that I'm doing, then I'll just change it. No, it doesn't work that way. Because your unconscious mind is stronger than your conscious mind, and the only information your conscious mind actually has is what the subconscious mind decides to give it. Are you following me? If you try to rationalize or think through some of this stuff, you're going to wind up on like a hamster wheel. You just keep spinning and coming up with more and more rationalizations or stories for why things are a certain way. That's trying to apply a rational solution to an irrational problem. But if we understand that for every thought, belief, feeling, emotion, sensation that we subjectively experience, there's a structure. There's a pattern that the neurology uses to create that internal experience for you. And we know how to find it. That we can change things in minutes. Does that make sense? Type in the chat for me. I need to know you're with me. Okay, very good. So, two things you absolutely need for success. You got to have an identity that supports it. You got to decide that you deserve it in spite of the body feelings to the contrary. This is why I talk about this a lot, because many times, one of the things that you need to understand about your nervous system, aside the fact that it has a negativity bias, is that it also sorts and gravitates to what's familiar. One of the things that happens is your unconscious mind is always trying to keep you the same because it's safe. And so when it sees or perceives change coming, it starts to get nervous. It starts to go through its memory banks and it starts to ask questions like, have we ever done this before? If we did, what did we do about it? And if it doesn't find an answer, and by the way, it almost always finds an answer, which is almost always why we're stuck, because it finds a shitty answer. It says, we'll do that again. It's like that old Galaxy Quest scene where the guy on the computer is outlining all the different technological things, and Tim Allen's character just looks at him and goes, we'll do that, right? That's kind of what your unconscious mind does. Because your unconscious mind has a familiarity bias. If you have 20 years of self-sabotage and a minute and a half of a new possibility, guess what it'll choose? Type it in chat. What will it choose? Safe option. Why? Because it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. However, if we understand how your neurology does this from a subjective level, we're not talking about the hormones and all that other crap. You don't need to know any of that to start making changes. You're going to start experiencing it really short, but I want to cover the foundations first. How do these things manifest? A lot of times, if you ever catch yourself, like you're presented with an opportunity, right? And some of the first things that start happening are internal dialogue, kind of like, takes too long, don't know if it's worth it, too much effort, too much money. If you're presented with an opportunity that you know will change your life, an action that you need to take, and those kinds of tapes start playing, that's your self-protection mechanism trying to keep you the same because it's safe. Understand? When you say it's too much money, or it's too much time, or it's not worth the effort, what you're really saying to yourself, and I'm sorry to say this, what you're really saying to yourself is you're not worth it. Right? My wife called me crazy for wanting to start a doctorate at 53 years of age. But it was something that was very important to me. It was something I wanted. And I actually listened to her for a couple of years, because I bought into what other people were telling me. People who love us. The people who love us, by the way, are the ones who often do the most damage. Why? Because changing ourselves threatens them. They want us to be the same. They've put us in a little box in their world, and anything that gets us out of that box they've put us in, they view as a threat. So, going forward, every time you're presented with an opportunity to level up, and you catch yourself saying, oh, it's too much money, I can't afford it, it's too much time, it's too much effort, It's not worth it. Remember what you're actually saying to yourself and decide to do something different. Does that make sense? It was one of my hardest lessons. I was so bad at that. I was so bad. It took me years, decades really, to figure that shit out. Okay, so let's talk about state control. Everything human beings do is in response to a feeling, true or false? Everything human beings do is in response to a feeling, true or false? Okay. Now, you have this part of your brain called the reticular activating system. You ever meet people who are just stupidly lucky? Like everything they do works out for them? The reason that is because they have an identity and a set of body feelings that trigger the reticular activating system to look at the world through a different set of lenses. It's literally what we call a perceptual filter. The way you hack this system is by generating positive body feelings. Okay? So there's two really strong, really powerful ways to change your state. We're going to do that now. Is that okay? Can we do some exercises together? Some drills? All right. You guys ready to play? So first and foremost, if you're going to do this, make sure you're not driving your car. If you're listening to this webinar while driving and you want to actually experience this for yourself, find a parking lot, put the car in drive or in park, turn off the ignition, put the parking brake on, make sure you're not going to be disturbed, right? And make sure that nobody's going to come knocking on your door or the cat's not going to jump on your keyboard or whatever, or that people are going to look at you weird, right? All I want you, first of all, is I want you to stand up, if you can. I want you to close your eyes, okay? And I want you to think back to a time in your life where you saw something you really, really wanted. I mean, like on a lust factor of 0 to 10, it was like a 27. I want you to remember that thing and the caveat is it's something you realized that you wanted. You made a plan. You put that plan into operation. You worked that plan over, around, through, adapted as you needed to, and boom, you nailed it. Home run. I want you to remember that moment of victory. What were you seeing in that moment? What were you hearing? What were you smelling? What were you tasting? Because when you do that, when you're in that space, and you see what you see, and you hear what you hear, and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there's an amazing, wonderful, unstoppable feeling of victory that you get. I want you to close your eyes and notice that there's a place in your body where those amazing feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, point to where you feel it. And as you do that, I'd like you to notice that there's a color. Maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. Now you don't have to type it in the chat, you don't have to tell me, but just know in your mind what color or colors that is for you, first impression. And I want you to notice how your posture begins to shift, how the feelings in your body begin to shift and change. And with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, you imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how your entire physiology begins to shift and change. That ball of energy, that victory begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of triumph, of victory, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all defeats, all loss, real or imagined, that motivates you and inspires you to unstoppable, unbreakable action. And when you know you've got that, breathe those amazing colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like fuel fills up a tank. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. And when you realize it's true, test it. Try to turn it off. Try to take it away. Notice what happens instead. When you're done testing, go ahead, take a moment, type in the chat what just happened. Wow, I feel invigorated. State, yes. How fast was it? Can't steal my thunder. I love that. All right. You guys ready to play some more? You want to play some more? Yes or yes? As T. Harv Eker would say. You want to play more? Yes or yes? Super quick. All right, very good. All right, now I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think back to a time in your life when you were having the most fun ever. When you were being the most playful, easygoing, don't really care how it ends, you're just having fun doing it. I want you to remember that moment. Close your eyes and go back there. And I always wonder when people go back into that space, what might you see when you're in that place? What might you hear? What might you smell? What might you taste? Because as you do that, when you're in that place of absolute fun, playfulness, curiosity, and you see what you see, and you hear what you hear, and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there's an amazing, wonderful feeling that you get. A feeling that lets you know this is the best fun ever. And there's a place in your body where those wonderful feelings start, where they grow and where they spread from, just like before. Point to where you feel it. Notice there's a color. Maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. I always wonder what color or colors that might be for you, first impression. But whatever it is, just like before, imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of fun, pleasure, playfulness, curiosity. A cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all downers, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs in an irresistible, ever-expanding, unlimited supply. And when you know you've got it, it's locked in, breathe that fun, playful, curious energy through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Let it mingle and merge with that energy of victory and transformation and going for it. Let it imprint and move into every cell of your body, changing, transforming, reprogramming, turning each and every cell of your body into a powerful, playful achievement factory, a victory furnace. Each cell of your body generating more and more and more of those amazing feelings in an infinite, ever-expanding and unlimited supply. When you know you've got that, there's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Breathe another blast of that energy through your body and notice it doubling in size and strength, doubling in force and magnitude. Till it's locked in, it's impossible to turn off. When you realize it's impossible to turn off, test it. Try to turn it off and notice what happens instead. Type in the chat what you discovered. Goosebumps? Yay, buddy. Okay. Very good. All right. So this is how we begin to control our state. This is a very simple technique. It's drawn from the Identity by Design and Secrets of Personal Transformation system. So let me just show you this really quick. So this is the full system. The Identity by Design silo. It starts with general negativity clearing, specialized negativity clearing, default driver states, internal dialogue, temporal editing, a priori priming, and trait installation. So let me explain what this is for you really, really quick. There's negativity that we accumulate that we don't even know about, but we can get rid of it without having to delve deep into it. It's kind of like soaking the pot before you put it in the dishwasher. Then you have certain types of issues, circumstances. Hold on a second. Oops. It's not letting me. I might have to annotate. Hold on a second. This is specialized negativity. Every now and then, you're going to encounter situations and circumstances that your unconscious mind is trying to protect you from, and so this level of the technique deals with that. Then we're going to install 4 basic driver states into you. These are the states of playful, curious, triumphant, and victorious. Or I'm sorry, playful, curious, relentless, and triumphant. These allow you to really move through the world from this kind of like the state you're in now. Imagine what would your life be like if this is your normal, what you just experienced. Let me jump out of this really quick. Stop sharing. So here's a question for you. How you guys are feeling pretty spunky right now, right? Pretty unstoppable? Yes? Yes or yes? Okay. What would your life be like if this was your normal? What would your life be like if this was how you moved through the world? And then it just got better. That's the goal. And that's what the 3rd level of the Identity by Design silo is designed to give you the tools to do. It's designed to allow you to customize the normal psycho-emotional states that you go through on a day-to-day basis and then be able to amp it up whenever you want. After that, we work on your internal voices. You all have a voice that talks to you. You all know what I'm talking about. It's that voice inside your head that just said what voice? The one that criticizes you, talks shit to you. We systematically retrain that voice so that it builds you up and tells you all the reasons why you deserve something instead of all the reasons why you don't. Right? Every time we do this, there's not a dry eye in the house, because now that lifelong critic that you've been struggling with and fighting against and letting it run your life is now telling you all the reasons why you can succeed, why you do deserve it. It goes right to your identity level. Right? That's level 4 in the Identity by Design system. What if you could systematically remove all the negativity from your past, take that energy, put it into all your positive memories so that when you look back on your past, you only remembered it in ways that made your life better, and those memories were so charged, so positive, so powerful, you couldn't stop yourself if you tried from moving forward. That's level 5. Level 6 is what if we could take all of this stuff, the ability to remove the negativity, to remove the laws that are keeping you stuck, to take those default driver states, take that internal dialogue transformation you just had, and all that ability to reprogram your past. What if we took all that and we installed it in your newborn body, in your fetal body at the DNA level, so that these skills and the ability to do this was actually hard-coded into your genealogy? How many of you are familiar with epigenetics and by Dr. Bruce Lipton's work? That's what stage 6 of the Identity by Design silo is. What if you could take all the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people who you admire, whose skill sets you'd like to have, and build them into your own brain, into your own body, so that you could have those skills on tap? What would that be like? Right, Cobb, exactly, Jennifer. That's stage 6 of the Identity by Design silo. Okay? The pieces I'm doing with you right now happen at about stage 2. These techniques, like the spinning and the color breathing that we just did, they're part of the stage 2 training. When you're going from stage 2 to stage 3, that's where you can find the techniques that we're doing right here, right now. So I just wanted to kind of, does that kind of give you a context of, you see how powerful just teeny tiny pieces of the system are, right? Obviously I can't do everything, but you don't need a whole lot to make some powerful changes. You just got to know where to point this stuff. So now, what if you guys feel pretty motivated, pretty bulletproof right now in terms of your ability to go and get stuff? Now, really quick question, and again, if this was not true for you, you will avoid accepting this as a suggestion. How many of you may have noticed that when you were amping up your system, that in the background there were some few icky feelings trying to poke its head up. Anybody notice that? Okay, very good. Those are limiting beliefs. Those are the dominant thoughts that you didn't know you had that were connected to the feelings you're trying to express. This is one of the things that shortcuts our affirmation process. Because if you follow the law of attraction says you'll attract into your life situations, circumstances, and events that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. Well, we mistakenly believe that our dominant thoughts are the ones we're conscious of, but they're not. Our dominant thoughts are the little thought bubbles, the stored memories and stories locked in our tissues that activate when we try to move forward. So we're going to show you in a very simple, clear, easy way, once you find those things, how to get rid of them. Is that cool? We'll do that in part 3 of the webinar. Is that fair? We'll circle back and show you how to get rid of that shit. Okay? Now, what if you could tap into, as motivated as you feel right now, what if you could tap into a source of unlimited, unstoppable motivation and desire for something? A state so powerful you'd let nothing get in your way. Would that be helpful? What if you could emotionally bond other humans to your product, service, or yourself in a way that you satisfy their deepest, most powerful emotional desires? Would that be useful? Okay. That's what we're going to do next. Is that okay? Now, really quick question, because I want to make sure that you're all kind of with me on this. Am I delivering on my promise to teach you the things you came to learn? Are we moving forward in that? Cool. All right. So this next drill, we call this the emotional, if we're doing it on ourselves, it's called the emotional motivation checklist. If we're doing this with other people, it's called the emotional bonding checklist. So it's the same process. The name change just denotes, is it a personal process I'm doing on myself, or is it a process I'm using with a client, a potential date, somebody in a negotiation or a mediation, those kinds of things. Does that make sense? Now this thing is nuclear. If you really master this, people will just do business with you by default. Okay? But you have to do it right. If you use this on yourself, you will tap into the most powerful emotional triggers for getting up and taking action. Okay? It's that powerful. I have not found a single thing in my entire 30 or 40 years of persuasion research that trumps this, that beats it, that can overpower this. Okay? This is why it forms the persuasion bullseye. If you come to our Secrets of Human Influence training in a couple of weeks, you'll be introduced to something called the Universal Persuasion Protocol. The bullseye is what I'm about to teach you. Right? So you guys ready to play a little bit? You guys want to feel good? Type in the chat. Okay. Now, here's what you need to do. I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pencil. Piece of paper and a pencil. And I want you to stop for a moment, close your eyes, and think about what you wanted to get from today's training. In other words, when you saw me promoting this training, you said, oh, I need that. I can use that. What do you need or want to use it for? Now, you don't have to type it in the chat. I don't need to know that. If you want to share it, you can, and I may use it as an example. But assuming I've delivered on my promise, I've given you the skill sets to achieve that. What's important about that? So this is underneath what you came here to get and what it's going to do for you. So why did you come to this webinar? What's it going to do for you? Right? And underneath that, I want you to write a number 1 and the question, what's important about that? So I'll show you a template really quick. So this is the emotional motivation checklist. Can you guys see it okay? So, the emotional motivation drill. What did you want from this webinar? Okay? What did you want to be able to do from this webinar? What's it going to do for you? And I want you to fill in these blanks for yourself. Once you have that filled out, ask yourself the question, what's important about getting that? What's important about getting that? Whatever. Then the first thing that pops up is what you write on the line. Use the exact words that come up. I can't stress this enough. Whatever pops up in your mind, don't edit it. Don't try to change it. Feel it. Hear it come up from inside your unconscious mind. Write it down on the sheet. Once you have that written down, so let's say I came here to, like one of the guys says, to be influential, right? I'm going to ask, well, what's important about being influential? I get what I want, whatever I want. And if I were to get whatever I want, what's important about that? I'd feel safe. Now these are just examples. Your answers are going to be your own. Okay? So, you guys thought, now I would even go one level further. If I got the tools to be influential, so I could get whatever I want, so I could feel safe, what's that going to do for me? And what's important about it? Okay? And remember, use the words that pop up first in your mind. Okay? Write them down. Write them down. Hold on a second, I gotta see my chats here. Okay? Now, when you're done, type done in the chat. Done. Excellent. So you should have at least 3 answers to the question, what's important about? True or false? You have at least 3 answers to the question, what's important about? 4? Excellent, Jennifer. You can have more. It's okay. 5 is great. Perfect. Now here's what I want you to do. Again, if you're driving, don't do this. But I want you to stand up as good as you feel right now. I want you to take an inventory of your body and notice how you feel. Then what I want you to do is I want you to take your notes. I want you to hold it up at about a 45-degree angle to your eyes. Okay? I want you to read out loud only the answers to the what's important about question. I want you to read them out loud 5 times. Read them out loud 5 times. When you've read them out loud 5 times, and you link everything that we're doing to this webinar and to the instructions you're getting, type done in the chat. Done. Excellent, Robin. Okay. Yes, it's achievable. Michael says done. Lisa says done. All right, take as much time as you need. Really, some of you are going to want to keep. You're not going to want to stop. Jennifer says done. Done. Very good. Now, what did you notice? What is your body like now? What are the feelings in your body now? How bad are you ready to go get it? On fire? I'm crying. Very good. Are you motivated, my friends? Are you motivated? All right. Well, if you're motivated, with your permission, I'd like to share with you I shared with you the elements of the system. I showed you the big picture in the system. I put together the system and a whole bunch of extra programs to flesh out your learning and help you take this feeling and take it into the stratosphere. Okay? But if you just did nothing, then what you got from this webinar, you're already unstoppable. But we're gonna continue to deliver. We're gonna continue to give you more. Okay? Aurora's asking if I can show the questions again. I will show them when we come back from part 2, so you can copy them down. Okay? Yep. Here's the secret. Now, imagine customers. Imagine for a moment if you have prospects, clients, or customers as motivated to go forward and take charge of your life and grab whatever I'm telling you to do. Is what would it be like if all of your customers, your potential dates, mating prospects, negotiating partners, networking people, what if you could install this level of desire in them about you? What would happen? Because you just got the tool to do it. I just gave it to you for free. Right? Yes, it can be very dangerous, which is why you have to use it with honesty, truth, and integrity. Okay? I've literally shown you how to open up a person's heart, find their heartstrings, and play a song. Right? Okay? I told you, I'm going to show you. Now, try to procrastinate now about going forward and notice what happens instead. Try to put something off that you really... no chance in hell, Robin says. Nope, stronger. Yep. Boom. Right? It totally doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, that's bullshit. Anyway. Yep, boom. There you go. All right. Oh, no, it does work. He changed his answer. Powerful. Can do so much goodness. Yes. Yes. You can. You can make your life exactly what you want it to be. You can blow out anything that gets in your way. And I just gave you a teeny piece, but we're not done, okay? But I wanted to inspire you. I wanted to show you what's possible. We ready to look at the entire system? Yes or yes? Okay. With your permission, and without further ado, this usually takes about 35 to 45 minutes. Then we're going to circle back and we're going to show you resistance removal, because a lot of you are asking about it. And we're going to show you how to get rid of limiting beliefs, if that helps. Okay? But again, I'm going to ask you what you actually want to learn about. So if most of you want to do something else, we'll do that. Where's my PowerPoint? So for those of you who want to take things to the next level, and with your permission, I'd like to talk to you about our flagship personal transformation and empowerment program. This is called the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training for Success Home Study course. It is a deep dive into the art and science of transforming your mind for the purpose of learning to quickly and easily take your life to the next level, to help yourself earn more money in your life, whether it's for your own business, working for somebody else's corporation, to become more attractive both to money, to opportunities, to remove blocks to your success, to gain the successes that you truly want, to become more confident, to help more people, to become truly powerful, charming, charismatic, irresistible, and ... Add any other attribute or skill set that you want to this list. It is possible with the technology I'm been sharing with you on this webinar and the full program that we're about to go into. So everything that I'm about to share with you has a due date. It expires tonight, October 13th, 2022 at 11:59 p.m. Okay? If you're already fired up and you want to go ahead and get a jump on what I'm about to say, I'll put I don't normally do this, but I see a lot of people are really curious. So I'll put this in the chat. But everything today expires at 11:59 p.m. and slots and courses are limited. So let's talk about what you're going to be getting. The first thing we're going to start you off with, remember that 7-stage or that 6-stage diagram I showed you? This is part of our Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course. It's a 14 video downloadable, streamable set of courses that covers the entire 7-stage identity by design process. It's going to teach you how to systematically clear unconsciously held beliefs and negative emotions, beliefs you didn't even know you had. Okay, it's going to teach you how to find them, remove them, and get rid of them in the fastest, shortest amount of time possible, and replace them with what you want instead. It's going to teach you how to remove unconscious safety rules. Now, safety rules are arbitrary decisions about what that the unconscious mind makes that says what you're allowed to have, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to have, and what you're not allowed to do. If you've ever known people who, after going through a bad breakup, they meet the perfect person and they just won't let that person have the time of day, right? If they see somebody who's had a successful business and for some reason they lose it and they start another one and they lose it, and then they go to start another business and they can't bring themselves to pull the trigger on that third business. What you're dealing with is a safety lesson. The unconscious mind says, oh my God, every time this person did this, they got hurt. My job is to make sure that never happens again. How do I do that? I know. If they never have a new business, if they never have another relationship, they can't lose it. And this pain will never happen again. And your unconscious mind flips a switch and you can't get out of the gate. Now, another way that this happens is, let's say you've had an injury. Maybe you're a martial artist or you're some kind of extreme sports kind of a practitioner, and you've injured yourself over and over and over again, and maybe you've rushed the recovery, and all of a sudden you get an injury that you should be able to bounce right back from, but for some reason there's some nagging, limiting range of motion. There's always this background pain or discomfort that just won't go away, no matter how much soft tissue work you get, no matter what PT you go through. Or if you go to a practitioner, it goes away and it comes back. Once again, what you're dealing with, let me highlight this. What you're dealing with are safety rules. Level 2 of the identity by design process allows you to just find the roots of it, remove the safety lesson, and put it in a place where it actually needs to go, so your unconscious mind will actually let you do those things. Okay? It's super powerful. It works on physical problems. It works on emotional problems. It works on behavioral problems. Any block that you have, any pain or discomfort that you have that's not getting better, chances are there's safety rules in place, and this one technique will allow you to completely neutralize it and resolve it. It's a $297 value, but it's only a small piece of the identity by design silo. What if you could remove all those negative voices in your head, the ones that hold you back, and so that they build you up instead of tearing you down? That's level 3. It's a $297 value. You're going to become an expert in how to do that. What if you could install the 4 pillars of personal power and success: playfulness, curiosity, relentlessness, determination, victory? And what if you had the tools and the skills and the abilities to customize and install in your own mind any emotional state that you want? Just like we did at the beginning of this webinar, what if you could take it even further and amplify your self-esteem, amplify your states, all in one massive mega technique? That's called the Pillars of Power exercise. It's level 4 in the Secrets of Personality Transformation process. $297 value. Obviously, you can tell just by how I've talked about it, it's way more than $297 value. What if you could sanitize all the negativity from your past, the traumas, the fears, the phobias, the guilt, the shame, the rage, the pain? What if you could just dissolve and pull all the energy out of those memories, crush them and have them blow away like dust in the wind, and take all that freed up energy and move them into your most powerful, empowering, positive memories? And so that when you look back on the past, you remember it only in ways that give you and make your life better. That's what level 6 of the Identity by Design process is designed to do, or level 5, of the Identity by Design process is designed to do. What if you could install the personal success template of other people into your genetic memory, just like Bruce Lipton says in epigenetics? That's level 6. Okay, and again, install and borrow. That's level 5 and 6. And of course, everything comes with the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design course manual, which has all of these techniques in it: secrets of conversational hypnosis, self-hypnosis, self-programming. Total value is $2,497. But as you can probably guess, we're not going to stop there. Today is about transforming your life from the ground up and just keep going. So, as powerful as this silo is, I'm including some other special bonuses that will take this even further. Is that okay? To take it further? Cool. All right. Cool. So, if you enroll before 11:59 tonight, October 13th, we're going to give you absolutely free these special bonuses. The first one is the actual Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course. This is this is the Identity by Design silo taught from a completely different perspective. It's going to teach you and qualify you to guide other people through this Identity by Design silo. So now you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but if you're a coach or a healer or a physician and you need to get inside somebody's head and remove those limiting beliefs, dissolve that internal dialogue, install traits that allow them to become more successful, you will be able to utilize and guide your clients, your loved ones, your patients through all or parts of this silo and create powerful, rapid physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual transformations. Okay? It'll allow you to systematically remove all their limiting beliefs, systematically remove all the negativity, the stuff they didn't even know they had, to get rid of those safety lessons that just keep them self-sabotaging themselves. It'll help them to install the default driver states that allow them to become more empowered and to take charge of their life and to follow your instructions more perfectly. It's going to allow you to sanitize the negativity from their past so that those limiting beliefs and the sources of those limiting beliefs are gone forever. It's going to allow you to install that entire sequence in their genetic memory so their subconscious mind is biologically primed to automatically use these techniques to clear stuff. And then if they're coming to you for a specific set of skills, you can take people who exemplify the A-list, the apex of those skills, create a template, and have them literally install those skills and things into their own mind so they can replicate them in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay? So personal transformation is all about you. Identity by Design is all about you helping other people and getting paid to do it. Right? To take your life to the next level and help other people do the same thing. Total value is $1,497. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. 100% free, just for enrolling in tonight's program. Okay? Total combined value, if you add them up, is $2,994, but we're not going to stop there. A lot of you, when it comes to reprogramming the subconscious mind, are also fans of the law of attraction. True or not true? How many of you are believers in the law of attraction and manifestation? Anybody out there? Okay. The Hidden Laws of Attraction is a program that I created to help people manifest things faster and better. It's derived from the Identity by Design silo, but it takes these skills in a very, very different direction. This is going to allow you to systematically become more magnetic and unlock the power of your subconscious mind to find and remove energetic and spiritual blocks to your success, health, wealth, and happiness. Even the blocks you didn't know you had. It's going to allow you to become more a money magnet, to influence people remotely, to find and remove the hidden negativities in your energy fields, as well as your subconscious mind, to clear up the issues that just don't seem to go away. If you've been to therapist after therapist, practitioner after practitioner, and shit goes away and then it comes back, this will help you get rid of it. We're going to teach you, and I gave, how many of you guys were on the AMA I did last night? I showed you a piece of what we call the Yinformation method. This is a powerful new neurologically enhanced way to utilize the power of your nervous system to create affirmations that will just drive you to take action and pull things into your life. It's like the if you combine this with the emotional motivation checklist that we just did, it just magnifies everything. You see how powerful and what happened to you when you did the emotional motivation checklist. You build this particular set of techniques into it, and it becomes even more powerful. And you start magnetizing and pulling vibrationally all the situations, circumstances, and events that lead you to get the opportunities you want. It gets you in the game, it gets you taking action, and all of a sudden stuff just starts happening. Okay? You'll be able to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. Remember, in Identity by Design and Personality Transformation, we said you can take the skills and attributes of people that you want to be more like and install them in your neurology. In Hidden Laws of Attraction, we teach you how to take the 5 core characteristics that all lucky people have and install them on steroids into your own neurology using the Identity by Design silo. And then we take it even further. We teach you the most powerful manifestation tool I have ever seen. You may have heard me talk about it. It's called image cycling. People ask me about it all the time. Image cycling for me has become what I call an engine of personal transformation. It is one of the most powerful ways to create anything or to uncreate things I've ever seen. And it works fast. We're going to take you step by step through how to generate the image cycling checklist, how to do the technique, and how to actually calibrate and change the taste and the energetic qualities of sealed bottles of water. You'll be able to prove this to yourself. Okay? You don't have to believe it. That's the best part. You don't have to believe any of this for it to work for you. You just got to do the drills. If you do the drills, the magic literally happens. And you just keep doing it until you're exactly where you want to be. Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind, Magic, and Manifestation Made Easy. It's a $1,497 value. We're giving this to you free. Why? Because you're here and you're following the instructions and you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're proving by your actions what you deserve to have. And I've always told my students, and now I consider you my students and part of my extended family as well. I tell my students, the behavior that gets rewarded gets repeated. Behavior that gets repeated gets reinforced. I'm giving this to you free because I want you to do the one thing of the two that makes or breaks you. I want you to take action. I want you to get in the game. I want you to decide you deserve more and do whatever it takes. Total combined value of everything that we've talked about so far, if you could buy it on our website, is $5,491. But we're not stopping there. Because what we've talked about up to this point has been all the inner game stuff. What do you do inside your mind and your body to get yourself harmonized, to get yourself motivated, inspired, cleared of all blocks, to manifest opportunities? But many times, remember I said there's 2 things that stop us from taking action. It's mindset and skill set. The first 3 courses, the first 3 bonuses, the 2 bonuses plus the major course, is all about getting your mind and body harmonized and in the right space. The next 2 are all about skills, giving you that one ultimate skill set that you need to get what you want in life. And that's the real world conversational hypnosis, Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol. You heard me talk about it. You heard me mention it. We're going to give you level 1 of the Universal Persuasion Protocol training absolutely free. Why? Because the ability to influence and persuade, to communicate with people in such a way that they eagerly want to do what you want them to do, is the most important skill any human being needs living in a society where people need, where the way you get ahead, the way you move forward is by ethically and honestly getting people to want to do what you want them to do and liking you for it. And that's exactly what Stealth CPI is going to do for you. It's going to teach you the CPI algorithm, the Universal Persuasion Protocol. 6 steps that if you just follow the formula, people will automatically be salivating to do whatever you want them to do. People will like, love, and trust you. They will beg to buy your product or service. Okay? It'll allow you to instantly influence anyone, anytime, anywhere, completely covertly, completely ethically, completely honestly. It'll allow you to emotionally bond and connect with anyone you meet on demand, even if you're not actually talking to them. If they're across the room and you can see them, you can connect and start to influence them to like, love, and trust you instantly. Sounds like science fiction, but then again, don't believe me. Test it. We're going to teach you the 7 most powerful human language patterns that exist. Let me ask you a question. I want you to think about this for a moment. What if you had the magical ability to make anything you want, cause anything you want in the minds of your listener? What could you do with a power like that? That's what pattern number 1 teaches you. That's the very first thing it lets you do. It lets anything you want, cause anything you want in the minds of your listener, even if they have nothing to do with each other. Even if the two things are completely nonsensical or antithetical, because of the way your neurology is wired, when you use this language pattern, the person's neurology puts it together in a way that makes sense to them, and they just accept it. It's crazy, but that's how it works. That's one pattern. There's 6 more. What if you could make anything you want mean anything you want in the minds of your listener, even if those things have absolutely nothing in common? That's pattern 2. What if you could force a person's mind to pay attention only to the things you wanted them to pay attention to and ignore everything else, while simultaneously creating automatic unconscious processes in their mind that they think is their idea? Would that be a useful skill to have? Yes or yes? What could you do with a skill like that? That's what pattern number 3 does. Oh, and while we're on pattern number 3, what if it didn't even matter if the person you were using it on knew you were doing it, and it would still work? What would that mean? Even by the way, pattern number 3 in my world is the most powerful language pattern that exists. It works on anybody who hears it or reads it, even if they know what you're doing. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, right? But that's only 3 of the patterns. What if you could elegantly, powerfully force a person's internal mind movies, the thoughts, the feelings, the daydreams that they have, so to speak, to be exactly what you describe with 0% chance of failure, and they would think it's their idea? What could you do with that? That's what pattern 4 does. All right? 4 patterns and you can pretty much rule the world. Right? Now, I'm trusting that you're going to use this in an ethical and honorable way. But on the other side of this, knowing how to do this allows you to detect when other people are trying to do it to you. Other people are trying to do it. So you can protect yourself from this kind of manipulation. Or usually the people who are trying to do it to you are usually not the most ethical, so they're using it in an unethical or manipulative way. We're not going to do that. We don't need to. Because if you do this, you never need to lie to anybody about anything ever. Okay? So there's 3 other patterns. I'll let you discover those on your own, as powerful as they are. I gave you the first 4, but you'll learn more in the next assessment. I see we're having a lot of questions about, it might be the website went down because too many people are going to it. That's happened from time to time. Let me go ahead and put the customer service information in here for people. And for those of you on our YouTube channel, this is for you guys. Okay. So now we're given. Now, what if you could have it What if you could have them literally hanging on your every word? This is actually what happens. You become so pleasurable to listen to that people will listen to you talk for hours. For hours. It's so powerful, guys, that you could repeat the same thing like 5 or 6 times and they would never catch it. Don't believe me? Get the system, test it out. It's crazy. Okay? If you'd like to become more magnetically charismatic on commands, control your state so no one can push your emotional buttons ever again, and much, much more. That's what Stealth CPI is all about. It's about giving you the medium to exert the influence, to express the power that you've gained through the transformation process, the identity by design process, through the hidden laws of attraction process. It closes a circuit. It bridges that skill set gap so that you can communicate with people in the way they most need to be communicated with, so that they voluntarily, eagerly, lovingly, in many cases, do everything you want them to do for their reasons. Okay? No lie, I had one guy close a $1.2 billion deal using half of this. Okay? Combined value, $7,441.00 if you were to try to buy them individually. You get it all. You get this whole course for free when you register before the end of the webinar. Okay? But I'm not done. Let's say you screwed this up. Let's say that the people that you want to help have all these limiting beliefs that they refuse to let go of. That, or for some reason you screwed up the universal persuasion protocol, and they said no. Or they gave you a bullshit objection that you know was bullshit. Or maybe the person with the limiting belief is you. And you need to operate and install choices in you. If you need to protect yourself from people trying to manipulate you. This is what I'm about to show you is the coup de grace. This is called renegade reframing. How to rapidly change beliefs and instantly overcome any objection in just minutes. In this course, you are going to learn 14 mind-bending reframe techniques that literally let you, in an instant, overcome any objection that you encounter. Whether it comes from you, whether it comes from a client, a patient, a sales prospect, a loved one, you'll just blow that thing out of the water. It's going to allow you to win any argument you find yourself in by changing the game and changing the frame. And I've said this to my persuasion and influence students. Anybody who controls the frame controls the game. If you know this is for you, if you know you need this, click those links in the chat. Okay? There's a limited number of spots, and there's a reason I'm saying that. I've gotten to the best part yet, but there's a reason. When you want to get in on this early, okay? What if you could change any belief that you encounter in minutes, including your own? This is probably one of the best reasons for getting this program. What if for every excuse or limiting belief that you had that kept you stuck, what if you had at least 14 different ways to change it before you started combining them? That's what Renegade Reframing is going to teach you to do. It is the ultimate verbal and social and emotional self-defense skill set. You can write unstoppable, unbeatable sales copy. You can create marketing and email letters that just neutralize objections before they have a chance to emerge. You can dissolve your own limiting beliefs, create more choice, more flexibility, more freedom. And what's best about what I really love about this is that we actually include a game that you can play with this. It's called the Reframe game. It's a set of playing cards with each of the reframe patterns on it. So what you literally do is you get a bunch of people together, you get out a list of limiting beliefs or things that are objectionable. A person speaks a limiting belief, they throw a card at you, you have to use that pattern to beat or overcome the belief, and then it's your turn. We're trying to turn it into a drinking game, but we're not drinking at it right now, right? But it's a great way to have fun and gamify and become absolutely unstoppable and unbeatable in any form of human interaction. It's a great party game, and it really drives these patterns. It also comes with templates and stems that allow you to install the structure of these reframes at the unconscious level, and there's a whole bunch more. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people have taught these patterns in different ways. This is the most fun I've ever seen for people learning this. And again, think about it in context of everything you've learned and what it's going to let you do. Okay? So again, $1,950 value. This is yours for free, guys. For those of you who see the value, who see and recognize the opportunity, who want a better life, to want to go in a different direction, and you want the tools, this is for you. Okay? It's a combined value of $9,391. So let's review. Our whole package for today, Secrets of Personality Transformation, 14 videos plus the manual, and the 7-stage identity by design process, a $2,497 value. We're going to give you absolutely free the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Home Study Course. It's a $1,497 value. We're going to give it to you free. We're going to give you the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind, Magic, and Manifestation Masterclass, $1,497 value. We're going to give you the Stealth CPI Level 1 Universal Persuasion Protocol Home Study Course that will give you all the abilities I talked about if you just do the drills in a fun, playful attitude. A $1,950 value. We're going to give it to you free. And finally, we're going to throw in that Renegade Reframing, How to Overcome Any Objection and Change Beliefs Instantly Home Study Course. Total combined value is $9,391. However, for those of you who are ready, for those of you who realize this will change your life, who realize they're ready to take action, I want to make it super easy for you. I want to give you the best deal humanly possible and still create tremendous value reciprocally. So you're not going to have to pay $9,391. You're not going to pay $6,347. You're not even going to pay $5,347, $3,347. We're not even going to charge you $2,347. Okay? For those of you who want to take your life to the next level, who see the value, who are ready for a change, you can get it all for a low one-time investment of just $997. That's $997. And if you need to, you can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397. All you need to do to get yours right now, to get started, is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. Now, I think we saw some challenges in the chat regarding the link. Were they posting a different link? I wasn't sure about that. Okay, davidsnydernlp.com/link. Sandy, if you need confirmation, you can reach out to Stephanie directly at 858-282-4663. Now, for those of you who are calling, usually the phones are overrun. If you call, okay, make sure that you leave your name and your phone number. If you do not leave your contact information, you will not qualify for any of the bonuses. Okay? We will get back to you. If you leave your contact information, you will qualify for for everything we're offering tonight. Okay? So all you need to do is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. That's davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. Okay? And again, usually and if you don't hear from us within the next 24 hours, make sure you reach out. But if you have any other questions, now, by the way, if you're one of our veterans and you want to take advantage of this course, but you already have some of these products, get your course. Let Stephanie know. We will let you substitute anything of equal or lesser value, so you can customize your program to be exactly what you want. Okay? We're very flexible that way. Okay? We're very flexible that way. So all you got to do is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. That's www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. Ricardo's in? Awesome. All right. So while you're doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to take a 7 or 8 minute break. When we come back from the break, we're going to circle back and build on the foundations that we've laid. We're going to start looking at how to remove limiting beliefs, how to change and control your state, put a dead stop halt to procrastination. I'm going to give you a choice about what you want to focus on for the rest of the webinar. And all we're going to do for the rest of tonight's webinar is we're just going to train. Train and train and train. We're going to learn a technique. We're going to practice it. We're going to experience it. We're going to do another technique until about 7-ish or so. And Then I'll let you guys go out into the world and ply your trade, use your skills, and just make your life everything you want it to be. So for those of you who are on the fence, oh wait, I forgot. In case you were wondering, everything on this webinar comes with a 60-day money-back 100% guarantee. Okay? Take the course, use it, practice it, apply it for 60 straight days. If after 60 days you're not getting more dates, making more money, feeling more confident, feeling more secure, able to protect yourself, overcome objections, win arguments, if you're not unstoppable in all the ways that you feel you need to be unstoppable, pick up the phone, send us an email, we'll give you a refund. Let us help you through your sticking points if you're having any. But if after 60 days this course isn't delivering, we don't want your money. We want you to be successful, and we'll refund it. There is absolutely zero risk to this. Do you deserve it? I can't answer that. Only you. I know you do, but the question is, do you? Use it for 60 days. If after 60 days it's not working, we'll give you your money back, and you can find something else that might. Okay? So you have absolutely nothing to risk by jumping on this and going to www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit on the break, so I'm going to have to... by the way, just by a quick question. Is this enough? Or would you like more free stuff? Would you like more free stuff? Yes or yes? I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I can stop it right here. Well, yeah, I love free stuff. Yeah, I'm serious. You want more free stuff? All right. Here's how it works. For the next 19 people, who grab this package, not only are you going to get everything I've just described with the 60-day money-back guarantee, if you join before I log off this webinar, you get the following special bonuses, free. You're going to get a 3-month trial membership to our NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program and unlimited access for those 90 days to our 11-year video archive. Literally 11 years of training that I've recorded where I literally teach people how to do pretty much anything you can imagine. Everything from law of attraction, dating, copywriting, trauma resolution, law of attraction, accelerated learning, instant and rapid inductions, energy healing, Reiki, pranic healing, you name it. Let me explain this a little bit, why this is such an amazing value, okay? Let me jump out of this. So, let me explain to you a little bit about the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. And by the way, our next meeting is this Saturday. So, the way the Mastermind Mentoring Program works, we have run into every single month since October. This will be our 11th year anniversary. Since October of 2010. And the way it works is you don't get a certificate from the mentoring program. What you get is hands-on training and feedback from me. So what happens is you log in or you show up in person. I literally go around the room and say, Gene, what do you want to learn? Grizzly, what do you want to learn? Bob, what do you want to learn? Marianne, what do you want to learn? And I literally write that stuff down on my board. And I step back and I look at it. And I look where they all intersect. And I create a lesson plan for you right on the spot. And then for the next 5 hours, I drill you on those individual skills until you can do them in your sleep. You will not get a certificate from the mentoring program. What you will get is the one thing that takes you from overtrained to action taking and achieving. The ability to work with other live humans in a real setting, get feedback, hone, and practice. You'll be surrounded by people who have all the same interests that you do, who want to work with other cool people who like to do cool stuff. If that's something that you need, and again, it's the master key that takes you from interesting information to lasting transformation and unstoppable persuasion. Okay? If you want, you need to surround yourself with people who will support you, give you feedback, and help you develop. The NLP Power Mastermind has been doing that for 11 solid, I can't even do it because I don't have enough hands, 11 solid years. But that's not all you get. We have videotaped every single training from those 11 years, and we have archived them. on the NLP Power website, our private Facebook page, and at our Diamond and Gold and Platinum level YouTube channel. So if you're one of our Diamond, Gold, and Platinum members, you may see some of that. Okay? As a member in good standing of the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, you get unfettered full access to the entire 11-year archive for the time you're in the mastermind. You can binge watch stuff that's never been seen on YouTube, never been turned into a product, none of it. You get it all for free. So if you like to binge watch our channel, you'll love binge watching the mastermind, because you'll see me working with people side by side, hand in glove, in all different types of context scenarios, and fitting them together in ways nobody ever thought they could. And you'll get the hands-on every Saturday, just like you need to take your life to the next level. All right? That's what the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program is all about, and that's why it's been lasted so long, because it makes the difference. And I want you to have every advantage in applying these skills. Okay? What would you do with how much money could you make if you had these skills? What would your life be like? Right? Just take a moment, think about it. What's important about it? Right? That's what we're doing. All right, let's go back to this. Total combined value. It's actually way more than this if you think about it, but the total combined value for this is $1,597. We're going to give it to you free. Total value combined is $10,078. But now, we're also going to throw in the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course. This is a course I created back in 2010 that allows you to instantly learn the 7 most powerful hypnotic language patterns that exist and apply them in just a few hours. Literally, what if you could watch a couple of hours of video and instantly be able to do instant and rapid inductions on anyone you meet, if you knew how to tap into their emotional hot buttons, if you could detect lies, use the 7 most powerful language patterns. It's all here. It has books, it has workbooks, transcripts, manuals, bonus videos on anchoring. Some people were asking about anchoring yesterday. If you want to learn about that stuff, it's all in here. Right? It also has an older version, the bonus copy of our Hidden Laws of Attraction original home study course. So you're going to get 2 versions of it. So this is a $997 value. We're going to give it to you free. Right? We're going to give it to you absolutely free. Total combined value, $11,075. Now, this is why I was saying hold on to your butts, because this is what I've been waiting for. Normally when we do a webinar package, we say, okay, we've got a killer influence training coming up, so-and-so. For those of you who grab this package before we log off, you're going to get a free VIP ticket to that event. If we're doing if we're doing like how to reprogram the subconscious mind, a lot of times we'll give you a VIP super ticket to Identity by Design. This one's different. This one we call the VIP Anything Goes Super Ticket. And what this is going to do for you, it's going to give you free admission to any one training of your choice, any 3 to 5 day certification boot camp. It could be face reading, it could be killer influence, it could be Identity by Design, it could be attraction mastery. You get to pick. Some restrictions do apply. Any course 5 days and less, you can just walk into the front of the room. Okay? This ticket does not expire. If you grab a hold of this ticket now and something comes up at the last minute that you can't attend, all you do is pick up the phone or send an email, let Stephanie know, we'll move you to another training. If your schedule frees up at the last minute, and you can now go, but this training is full, you show your VIP ticket, we'll make a space for you. If the price of the event you want to go to goes up, it doesn't affect you. You just walk right in. Okay? If you want to give this as a gift to someone you care about, someone who you think can really benefit from this training, you can do that too. You have this ticket until you actually use it. I've had people get these VIP tickets and wait 3-4 years to cash it in. And it's perfectly fine. So you see down here at the lower corner, you might want to take a screenshot. What we've got coming up December 5th through the 7th is face reading in Las Vegas. Killer Influence, 5-day hypnosis camp, January 24th through the 28th in Las Vegas. The Attraction Mastery program is February 8th through the 11th. And then the Identity by Design hypnotherapy home study, hypnotherapy live certification is March 21st through the 25th, 2023. You can pick any one of these. Doesn't matter which one you choose. If you have one of these Anything Goes VIP super tickets, you just walk to the head of the line. It's a $2,250 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free because nothing replaces a live event. In a live event, I have you for 3 to 5 days. I can watch you. I can manage. I can coach you. I can mentor you. I can give you the feedback that you need. And I can make sure, and I can make drills up right on the spot to make sure you own these skills before you leave. This is why our live trainings will never go away, because it's the one place you can get fully certified, because I'm right there. My top trainers and handlers are right beside you, making sure you're doing the drills and getting the skills. Okay? It's all for you. But this is only available to the first 19 people who click that Buy Now button and register for this package. Okay? It's a $13,325 value. And again, here's what you're getting. Secrets of Personality Transformation, $2,497 value. Identity by Design, Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, $1,497 value, free. Identity by Design, Hidden Laws of Attraction, $1,497 value, free. Hidden Laws of Attraction, Manifestation and Mind Control Mastery Home Study Course, $1,497 value, free. Hidden Laws of Attraction, Stealth CPI, Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,950 value, free. Renegade Reframing, free. NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, free. Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, free. And finally, the VIP Anything Goes Super Ticket, your choice of any single live event in any calendar coming forward. You get it absolutely free. It's a $2,250 value. You can get it all for one low investment of $997. Or you can break it up if you need to into 3 easy invest installments of $397 each. All you got to do to get yours is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. That's www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. One more time with feeling. www.davidsnydernlp.com/mind. Grab yours now. Once those 19 slots are gone, they're gone. Okay? If you have any questions, give Stephanie a call at this information. And now, we're going to actually take our break. So I will see you. It is 5:56 right now. I will see you. Jeremy's in. Yes! I will see you at 6:04. Lisa's in. Yes, Lisa. She did the math. All right. We'll see you in 7 minutes. All right, folks, I'm back from my break early. So while we're waiting for everybody else to get back, does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about? This is what I like to do when as you're getting your stuff handled. Is I like to kind of take your temperature and see if there's anything that I can answer for you before we get back into the content of tonight's webinar. What do you got? Any questions? Not about the package. I mean about where's the payment plan. Cynthia should, or not Cynthia, Stephanie should be able to help you with that. Call her directly at 858-282-4663, and she should be able to help you set that up. Okay, hold on. I see one question here. So Sharky's asking, how do you turn a no into a yes within yourself? Transform the list of I don't want this to this is what I want. And what language do we use to articulate this list? Say like a Bankston list. How do we state it and how do we say, oh, it's great. Actually, that feeds right into some of the things we're going to be doing on part 3 of the webinar. So that's definitely something we could address. Tanisha says that question is helpful. So where does overwhelm play into this? You're going to have to elaborate on that, Cynthia, because I don't know what that means or in what context. I had a hard time reading the list quickly. You don't have to read it quickly. Tanisha, are you talking about the emotional motivation checklist? You don't need to read that quickly at all. In fact, it's actually a little better if you read it slowly, because that gives your neurology time to really tap into the feelings. Oh, yeah, I do move fast when we're doing the exercise, primarily because I don't have you in front of me, so I can't gauge where you're, the pace that you're going. So the secret to that is very simple. Trust your unconscious mind to take as long or as fast as you need to complete each step. You don't have to worry about keeping up with me. As long as your unconscious mind can hear what I'm saying, it can do it in its own time. In fact, we'll address that. But it's a great question. Lisa says, send an email to Stephanie. That's what I did. Wendy's asking, when preparing myself to learn, I need a plan to organize the information. Do you have a recommendation on how to set an order of lessons? Well, oh, you mean for the package? Absolutely. Start with the secrets of personality transformation, and then go into identity by design. From there, decide if you need more skill sets for dealing with people or dealing with yourself. So what I would recommend is that you actually use this personality transformation first, supplement that with identity by design, jump into Stealth CPI 1, come to the masterminds to practice those skills on live human beings, okay? And then, after you've got those under your belt, decide if you want to focus on the metaphysical manifestation aspects of the training, or if you want to deal with real-world objection handling and things like that. So the core training for most of you will be Secrets of Personality Transformation, Identity by Design, Stealth CPI, and then you decide which direction you want to go after that. That's what gives you the biggest bang for your buck in terms of balancing your inner game with your outer game. Okay? So Eddie is saying, in doing these exercises, I feel like Harry Potter trying to find something happy to train against Dementors. I learned very young not to feel. We can fix that. In fact, we'll show you how to do it. Okay? Chris K, how about overwhelm? What that shuts your body down into collapse instead of fight or flight? That's actually, we teach that a lot in Secrets of Personality Transformation, and we cover it big time in Stealth CPI. It's all about, we have two types of state control. Physiological state control and volitional state control. We can talk about that a little bit. But you'll learn it in depth in Stealth CPI 1. Tanisha says not criticizing. That's not fine. It's fine. How can I address it? Just complete and utter overwhelm. I don't know what that means. I often feel very overwhelmed when I start a project or change. Okay. I can show you how to fix that. Well, here's the thing. This is a great place to start. This actually may be a cool little side road for everybody.
what was the 21 words about and where was the PDF? If you go to drdavid.club, you'll find a little sign-in form that allows you to sign up for the PDF with the 21 most powerful words in the language. Okay. Okay, I'd like to know how to help ADHD, autism, and... Okay, all right. You're about to get those tools. Okay, very good. I hope I can save this chat because these are some really, really good asks. All right, so without further ado, let's get back to training. Let's start diving in on this, shall we? Okay, now, let's go back to some basics. First and foremost, everything human beings do. Let me kind of back up a little bit here and see if I can get... Good. Can everybody see me okay? Yes or yes? Excellent. Perfect. All right. By the way, pretty much all the questions you guys have asked are actually answered in your courses. That's what's so cool, is everything that you've asking me and goes in. You can do it in depth. But let's talk about things that were brought up. Things like overwhelm, or not feeling being able to access a certain feeling. So one of the things that we need to understand is that everything human beings do, let's go back to the full basic idea. Everything human beings do, has a structure. It has a structure, okay? Once you understand that structure and you know how the nervous system manipulates that structure, you can deliberately go in and make changes. But you have to understand how the system works, and you have to combine 3 or 4 basic things. You need to be playful, or at least curious and explorational. Second thing is you need to be intentional. You need to be imaginational, and you need to get your body involved in the change work. Okay? So, let's start with a basic exercise, shall we? And this one exercise has within it the answer to the most of your questions here. All right, you guys remember when we did that whole state control thing? You guys remember that? Type in the chat if you remember. Remember something we saw, we breathed the color, we stood a certain way? You guys remember that? You guys remember when we did your emotional motivation checklist? Yes? All right, let's pull back the curtain. Let me show you how your system works. But what we're going to do is, before I give you the explanation, I'm going to give you the experience. Okay? So, first thing I want you to do is think of a feeling or a state that you want more of. Now, I don't care if it's pleasure, I don't care if it's orgasms, I don't care if it's the best high you've ever had, I don't care if it's a sense of certainty, or I don't care what it is. But I want you to fly back on the wings of time, in your own mind, to a time when you felt that way. Now, first hack. Let's say you want to feel pleasure, right? But you don't remember ever feeling pleasure, which I find very hard to believe, but doesn't matter. Then you change the language you ask your neurology. Okay, this activates an important phenomenon you're going to learn about in transformation and identity by design, called the somatic search engine. The somatic search engine is like the Google of your autonomic nervous system. It must, by its very programming, seek to give you the information you ask for, but only the information that you ask for. So many times, the solution to your problem is in how you ask the question. You follow me? I mean, this will be, again, it's all in the course, but we'll cover it. The solution is often in the question. So, for example, how many of you have ever heard of this thing called Google? Type in the chat if you've heard of Google. Okay. I know that seems like a stupid question, but we're going to just get real basic. Here's what I want you to understand. How many of you ever asked Google a question? How do I do X? Or where do I find Y? Yes or yes? Okay. How many of you have ever noticed that the information Google gives you changes depending on how you ask the question? Exactly. Your neurology does exactly the same thing. All that's required for you to be able to make any change you want is to be playful, absorbed, and focused. Playful, absorbed, and focused. Like when you were a little child. How many people have ever been little children? Type it in the chat. Okay. How many of you, when you were little children, played pretend? Okay. Every now and then you get someone in the audience who goes, "Not me! I was born in a test tube. I spent my life doing computational models and calculus. I never played pretend." Right? Well, if you have never played pretend, this is probably, if you've never been a child, this is probably not the webinar for you. If you're from Mars, this is probably not the webinar for you. But if you've ever been a little kid and you played pretend, some of you played superhero, right? Some of you played cowboys and Indians. Can I even say that now? Is that politically correct or incorrect? I don't even know anymore. Some people of you played teacups or tea parties. Some people played doctor. Some people played house, right? And I want you to stop for a moment. Remember your favorite pretend experience. Like maybe you're playing toy soldier, right? Maybe you're out in the backyard. You got a toy gun, or you pick up a stick and you're pretending it's a toy gun. Right? And there's a part of your brain that knows that what you're holding is not a real gun. It's just a stick or a toy for about the first 5 minutes. 6.5 minutes later, you're really Rambo. This is really an AK-47, and you're just going around bah, 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 shooting all the bad guys. Right? And you're chucking and you're jiving. Or maybe you're playing teacups or school teacher with your stuffed animals. And you're asking your stuffed animals questions and you're imagining and hearing their answers in your mind. Anybody ever had experiences like this? Type that in the chat. Okay. Let me ask you a question. When you were in that moment, were you asleep? Were you absorbed in what you were doing? Were you focused? Were you having a ball? Ladies and gentlemen, my beloved students, if you can do that and point to where you feel something, you can make any change that you want. It's literally that simple. Okay? And I give you those examples so that you can understand what I mean when I talk about absorption and focus. Absorption and focus is not this trying to just summon up all of your willpower and to think about it. If you're experiencing any form of tension when you're doing this, you're trying too fucking hard. Okay? But that playful, easygoing, explorational, just becoming absorbed in it, that's what we're going for. Okay? How many of you have ever seen a movie? I know, weird question, right? Maybe you're, but let's think about it for a moment, right? You walk into the movie theater, right? You got your big bucket of popcorn in one hand, best guy or best girl on the other side. You're walking down the aisle wondering which one's going to be more fun, right? And then the lights go down and the curtain opens and the movie starts. Can you tell me at what moment you became completely absorbed in that experience? The answer should be no. Because if you could tell me, you weren't really absorbed. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, that's all you need. That's all you can. Just follow the if you have that, you have the core of what it takes to unify all the different divisions of your nervous system in a fun, playful, explorational way that gives you control. Once you understand the structure and you can access the dashboard, you can program any change you want. Oh, I'm going to do more than make you believe. You're going to experience it, Delilah. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. Sorry for that. Something got blurry for me for a moment. Let me just see if I can fix that. Best part is you don't need to believe it, dear Lila, for it to be true. One of my more controversial students loves to say, the universe doesn't care what I believe, so why should I? Right? Hi, Seth. You're my buddy. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I want you, again, hopefully you're not driving. If you are driving, do not do what I'm about to teach you. Okay? So remember, semantic search engine. The way you ask the question will determine what information you can access. Again, there's two full trainings on this in your package. But let's just go through some basic nuts and bolts. First and foremost, I want you to think of a time in your life when you felt the state you'd like to have. Okay? So if you want confidence, fine. I like to play with things that are really simple. Things like pleasure or fun, or they're just really easy to do, right? Some people like, some people want to do safety, and that's okay. But again, we're trying to, we can use it for that. But fun and pleasure are almost always easier than safety, right? Because regardless of how small it is, there's been some time in our life when we felt pleasure. It doesn't have to be big. That's the whole point. It doesn't have to be a big thing. But you want to find the richest resource in your mind or body that you can. Now, let's say you have a block, right? Then you change the language of the question you ask your nervous system. You follow me? I might ask myself, what's the greatest moment of pleasure I had in my life? Or the top 3 moments of pleasure I had in my life. First one comes up, point to where you feel it. That's all you need to do. But what if you can't? What if there's a lag? First of all, sometimes all you got to do is wait for it. It'll show up. Okay? But let's say worst case scenario. You've never felt pleasure, or you felt pleasure, but you walled it off in some way for whatever reason. Then you just change the language of the question. You add one word. One word changes everything. That word is might. And the question sounds something like this. If there were a time in my life, or there were an experience in my life that was the most pleasurable, fulfilling, thrilling, satisfying experience ever, what might that be? First impression. What might that be? First impression. Okay? Pay attention to the first thing that comes up. Okay? So if you're one of those people that's kind of got a little extra padding or insulation, use that question. Might creates possibility where before there was none. I actually answered this in the pre-webinar chat. I told people that hope creates possibilities where there were none before. Well, one of the agents of hope is the word might. And so might injects an opportunity that wasn't there before based on your previous programming. Again, you don't need to know that, but I just want you there. So, first thing I want you to do is think of a time in your life when you felt the most amazing, thrilling, fulfilling, satisfying pleasure ever. When you have it, close your eyes and remember what that was like. And as you do that, I often wonder about my students, what might they be seeing in that pleasurable experience? What might you be hearing? What might you be smelling? What might you be tasting? Because as you do that, as you see what you see, and you hear what you hear, and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there is an amazing, wonderful feeling that you get. A feeling of absolute pleasure. And there's a place in your body where those wonderful feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, first impression, point to where you feel it. As you point to it, if there was a picture floating somewhere in the space around you, a picture that you could reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch it? Just go ahead, reach out and touch it. I don't need you to type anything in the chat, just follow the instructions. Where would you reach out to touch it? Once you've got that, take both of your hands. Trace the outline of that picture with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Now grab it. Physically grab it. And now, make sure we got the right one. Make the frame, stretch the frame, make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And notice what happens to the feelings in your body. Does it get stronger or does it get weaker? Doesn't matter which one you do, just know which one it is. Right? Now bring that picture back to its original size. Slowly pull it closer to your body. And notice, does the feeling get stronger or weaker? Whichever one you do is perfectly okay. Now put it back to where it was. Now let's take that picture, lift it up over your head, pull it down around you like a big blanket, and notice what happens to the feelings in your body. Does it get stronger? Does it get weaker? When you got that, unwrap that picture, hold it back up over your head. Now as you hold this pleasure above your head, this picture of absolute pleasure, or whatever state you actually want, I want to teach you the most important thing you're going to learn tonight. Inside your mind, body, and soul, you are the god or goddess of your reality. You are the king or queen of your universe. And you have absolutely every right, privilege, and authority to make any change that you want. Now in a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to take this picture that you're holding, and just like you know what a frisbee is, I want you to take this frisbee, this picture, I want you to throw it all the way behind you, whoosh, till it disappears completely behind the horizon. As it disappears completely, scan your body and notice what happened to the feelings. When you've got that, lift your hands up. Imagine your hands are the world's most powerful frisbee magnets. Suck that frisbee from the horizon right back into your hand. And as you hold that powerful picture in your hands, remember you have absolutely every right, privilege, and authority to make any change that you want for any reason that you want. And I want you to take hold of your power right now. I want you to take this picture and I want you to do the one thing we resist doing. I want you to play with it. I want you to make the picture bigger, make it smaller, move it in your body, move it out of your body, move it up, move it down. Notice how every time you change something about the size or location of that picture, the qualities and the feelings connected to that picture begin to change and modify as well. And I want you to keep playing with it. Keep playing with it. Keep moving it up, down, around, over, under, whatever, until you find the exact size, shape, location that makes it exactly the way you want it, at the intensity that you want it. And when you've got that, I want you to notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as the energy flows from that picture to your body, from your body to your heart, from your heart to your bloodstream, and from your bloodstream, every place that blood flows, those feelings go, into every nerve and every cell and every atom, into the very DNA of those cells, reprogramming, transforming, changing, turning each and every cell of your body into a powerful, perpetual pleasure factory. Each cell of your body generating more and more and more of those amazing feelings in an infinite, ever-expanding, and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got it, I want you to go ahead and fix that energy into place. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. And when you know you've got it, test it. Try to turn it off. Try to take it away. Notice what happens instead. And then type in the chat what you noticed. Maria says it really works. Don't gotta believe it. You just gotta do it. It gets stronger and more intense, Robin says. Very good. That was cool because it was like doing Qigong with a picture. Yes, because you are. Lisa says strong as hell. Right? Lisa Adams says, it really works. I am that. Congratulations, my friends. To quote Obi-Wan, you've taken your first step into a much larger universe. A universe where you actually have the power to make any change that you want for any reason that you want. As Anachi says, it feels good. Good to see you again, brother. All right. So, what you've just experienced is a technique. You'll learn it in personality transformation, and you'll learn it. Lisa says, best ever. Perfect. All right. Great. You guys make me proud. All right. You do the drills, you get the skills. So, Eric is saying physical in the throat chakra, picture a melting chakra plunger, energetic toes feeling good. Is it normal to feel it more on one side? Yes. Each and every one of you are going to express transformation a little bit differently. One of the interesting, the comment was made earlier that this is kind of like doing Qigong with a picture. All Qigong should have a picture. All Qigong should have a picture. As human beings process their stuff, there's usually a physiological manifestation. Some people break out in a sweat, some people laugh, some people yawn, some people cry, some people twitch. Some people just feel waves of emotion coming up. Itchiness and yawning is purging. Yawning is, I'm a yawner too. You'll see a lot of times when I'm putting people in a trance, you'll just spontaneously start yawning. Samsung says, feels so good and with healthy, clean power. Yeah, buddy. Now, this is something that what we just did is called the frame game. And it's something I do with all prospective clients. And it tells me in less than 3 minutes everything I need to know about how they build their subjective experiences, what they respond to and what they don't. Okay? And if you just took this one drill and did it every day, you would rapidly gain so much control over your own mind and body, it would astonish you. Okay? This is the foundation of a phenomena you'll learn about in your program called the proprioceptive grid. The proprioceptive grid is a map of how the human nervous system, from the most coarse organic level to the highest spiritual level, is organized. And once you understand it, feelings of overwhelm, procrastination, fear, anxiety, worry, physical or emotional pain, many forms, if not most forms of chronic illness can be addressed very, very powerfully, very, very quickly. But you have to do it kind of like we did. You've got to approach it using the right ingredients. Okay? And I'm gonna give you a little bit more training on this in just a moment. But for those of you who may have joined us late or who are on the fence about the program that we're offering, everything I'm teaching you, by the way, is in the program. So again, this is the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study Course and Manual. It's a $2,497 value. It includes the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course for free. It includes the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Manifestation, and Mind Control Training for free. It controls this. It gives you the Stealth CPI Ultra Persuasion Protocol, the most unstoppable hypnotic language program that exists. It's a $1,950 value. We're going to give it to you free. You're going to get the Renegade Reframing Objection Mastery and Conversational Belief Change Home Study Course, $1,950 value. We're going to give it to you free. You're going to get the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. It's a $1,597 value. You're going to get it for free. We're going to give you the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value. We're going to give it to you free. And of course, for those of you who are absolutely serious, first 19 people to take advantage of this offer, you're going to get that VIP Anything Goes super ticket. Your choice of any single 3 to 5 day event in our 2022, 2023, and 2024 calendars and beyond. All you got to do to get yours, to get one of the few remaining slots, is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/munch. You can get all of it, the $13,325 package. It has everything you need in it for one low investment of just $997. Or if you want, you can break that up into 3 easy installments of $397. My friends, it doesn't get any easier than this. Okay? This is a master class training that leads you into things that most people would consider science fiction. But you're experiencing them for real right now. This will give you all the tools that you need to just keep going. Okay? Now you know if this is for you or not. It doesn't get any easier. And I'm here to help you every step of the way. You get 60 days to try it. If after 60 days you're not convinced it's the best thing since sliced bread, if you're not on the fast track to becoming the best version of yourself, we'll refund your money 100%. No questions asked. Well, we'll ask questions, but we'll still probably give you the refund. Okay? Just go to www.davidsnydernlp.com. /MIND. davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. That being said, let's get back to training. All right. So, let me ask a quick question. When you made your picture bigger, what happened to the feeling? Just type it in the chat. When you made your picture bigger, what happened to the feeling? And Kimmy, yes, this is recorded and you can view it again. You will not qualify for the fast action bonuses, but you can view it again. Sharky says it surged through my whole body. Delilah says it diluted. Perfect. Why do I say perfect? You got two different answers. Because there's what we've noticed with people is that they fall into one of two or three categories. Okay, Lisa, same thing. You have concentrators and expanders. Expanders, you make the picture bigger. It's like turning the volume knob up on the feelings. Gwen says she started sweating like a banshee. I didn't know banshees sweated, but that's a good sign. Concentrators, the inverse is true. If you make the picture bigger and you're a concentrator, it dilutes the energy. It dilutes the feeling. Okay? It's not important which one you are. There's no good or bad. It's just important to know which one you are so that you know how to change it. Concentrators, if they make the picture smaller, it intensifies the experience. Concentrators, they make the picture bigger, it dilutes the experience. Okay? Most people, when you pull it closer, feel the intention connect. Jennifer lost the connection, but she's back. That's okay. You can pick it up on the replay, Jennifer. All right? So the idea now is when you want to begin to recode your life experiences, you know that making it bigger, if you're an expander, will make it stronger. You know that making it smaller, if you're a concentrator, will make it more intense. If you pull it closer to your body, it will make the experience more intense. Now, here's your rule of thumb. When people go into overwhelm, I do not know the term for this in Korean, unfortunately. That's one of my languages that I did not pick up on. Getting back to this, when you... hold on a second, I lost my train of thought there. So concentrators, make it smaller, it gets more intense. Expanders, make it bigger, it gets more intense. When you pull it closer, regardless of whether you're a concentrator or an expander, the feeling tends to get stronger, right? When people go into overwhelm, if you ask them to point to where they feel it, they can do that. If you ask them to point to the picture, almost without fail, that picture will be here. This far from the body. And it will usually be big. All you need to do, stop for a moment, and in color, all right? Stop for a moment, think of something that overwhelms you. Point to where you feel it. Reach out, touch the picture. Trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. And now just for fun, put your hands on the surface of it and push it away from you. Across the room. Notice what happens to the feelings in your body. Type in the chat what happened to the feelings in your body. Okay, got it. Okay. They went with it. Yes. Fly away, pushed it away. Huh. Wait, David, you mean all we have to do to get rid of a negative feeling that overwhelms us is move it away from us? Yes. Yes. Okay. Felt constricting at first, then it flew by itself. Right. Now, if you encountered any kind of resistance to moving it, then what you've got is a safety lesson that says it's not okay to get rid of it. Identity by design, magic frame, is what we do. We'll fix that next. If there were a reason, what process other than repetition optimizes performance? Anything that activates neuroplasticity, Laurie, will optimize your performance. And it will minimize the number of repetitions that you have to do. So, anything that triggers oxytocin and dopamine will accelerate your learning. Sandy says, it is obsessive though to grasp or want to repel something so much? No, not at all. You see, one of the things I want you to understand is there's a whole system behind this. Okay, I'm giving you bits and pieces, but I wanted you to have a real quick boom. Now, if you're an expander, point where you feel it, push it away. As you push it away, make it smaller, like the small size of a postage stamp, and notice what happens to it. If you're a concentrator, as you push it away, make it bigger. Robin says make it black and white. Yes, if it isn't in color, if you make it black and white, it tends to neutralize it. But we want to stick with, just for right now, I want to keep it super simple. Stay with location and size. Tell me what happens when you do that. Now that you know whether you're a concentrator or an expander, what happens next? Type it in the chat. Okay, point where you feel it, touch it, and if you're a concentrator, make it bigger and push it away. State changed, very good. Okay, the more you play pretend with this, the powerful it gets. Now, just for fun, take that picture, shrink it down to the size of a postage stamp. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your unconscious mind grabs a hold of that shrunk down, far away image, moves it up over the top of your head, and all the way behind you, back behind the horizon, and it sinks down below the horizon, impossible to come back. And if you could hear the sound of a hammer banging on a nail, so that would be nailed back there for all eternity. When it's nailed back there for all eternity, test it. Try to bring it back, notice what happens instead. What do you notice? It's totally gone. Lisa says it's totally gone. I'm laughing because that feels amazing. How about that? Yes, gone. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I need more nails. That's all right. Put it in a bank vault if you want. You can use as many nails as you want. Now, my hand feels lighter. How about that? How does that friggin' work? It won't come back, Samsung says. I feel like a little child, free. Huh. Wait a minute. You mean all that shit that I've been carrying around, all I got to do is move it? Yeah. But you see, it's not just that you moved it. It's the way you moved it. It's the way you accessed the divisions of your nervous system that nature designed them to work together. Okay? Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Now you'll learn about this in your home study course, in both Identity by Design and and Secrets of Personality Training. It's a core fundamental training. This is your introduction to holographic memory. Where is it now? Here we go. This will work. Okay, so you guys can see this, right? What I want you to focus on here, this is what we just played with. This is called the proprioceptive grid. Okay? Some of you may notice that when you found your picture and you made it bigger, it got more intense. Some of you may have noticed that when you made it bigger, it got less intense. Doesn't matter. Just know which one is which. This is the volume knob to your emotional amplitude. Anything that's in the forward aspect of your hemisphere, your neurology treats like a file or a program that's open, active, pending, or running. The further out from the body you go, the more disidentified or dissociated from the experience you are. The less imminent it is, so your nervous system doesn't have the same fight or flight response or intensity level. As this object moves towards the core of the body, it's like telling the nervous system something's coming. This is what it feels like, until at some point you're in it. This is like when you took that picture, lifted it up over your head, and pulled it down around you like a big blanket. Type in the chat, what happened when you pulled it around you like a big blanket? Was it like you were in it? Like you were seeing it through your own eyes? Yes or yes? Okay. And maybe when it was out here, you could see yourself in the picture if you were actually looking at the picture. Yep. Wendy says, I was right back there, completely engulfed. So here's what happens is, we project a file into this vibrational filing cabinet. And we have a filing system and a code that tells us how to play it. As that image passes through the layers of the body, it becomes embodied or identified with. As you process it out, it starts to move away again. What happened when you moved your picture behind you? Type it in the chat. Gone, right? Again, because you're going, once again, the continuum that we're looking at is you have the associated, dissociated continuum, and then it's gone. Now, the difference is the dividing line is the axis of the body, the spinal cord. Any file, we'll just call it a holographic memory container for now. Oops. Any file that is in the front of your body, what we call the forward hemisphere, your neurology categorizes it as something that's still open and operational. When it reaches behind you, your neurology now codes it as closed, over, and complete. As far as your neurology is concerned, it's all done. You didn't need to know that to get the experience. Okay? But now that you do, let's extrapolate a little bit. Now that you do know that, what can you do with it? Play with pictures? Sorry. I'm trying to fix my my stuff here. All right. So, here's the other thing I want you to understand about this. Now, NLP was really the discipline that kind of brought this phenomena out into the open. But whether lack of further exploration, a flaw in the belief system, they assumed that these images, or they called them fourtuples, were just a hallucination. That they were just something the brain generated. And that might be true. But they never really gave it the possibility that there might be a vibrational correlation to these. In other words, there's a vibrational field holding this information in place that can be manipulated. So what we've done is we've shown you what we call the proprioceptive grid. If such a thing as psychic abilities, sixth senses, did actually exist, it would be your proprioceptive nervous system. But it wouldn't be your sixth sense. It would be your 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th sense, I think it is. 11th senses, because there's at least 6 different channels of information that this grid, this field, tracks and processes below the threshold of conscious awareness. Every single thought, memory, belief, fantasy, daydream, phobia, trauma, overwhelm, behavior that you generate is built from the same things. And if you understand how your system builds those things, you can easily modify them. Some of the most basic ones is understanding this idea of proximity and size. If I can point to where I feel something, good or bad, then I can change it. And I can change it to anything I want. So just for fun, let's play a little bit, shall we? Hold on a second. What are the names of those channels, Jennifer? Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. Okay? You can think of them as thought forms if you're inclined to think along those lines. Okay? But those are the 5 vibrational channels of information that come together to form the structure of your thoughts, the material from which they're constructed. Okay? Now, do you need to know that to do what we're doing? Not really. But I want you to understand that there's a system here. There's a map that you can follow, that once you internalize it, once you understand it, allows you to customize your entire subjective experience. It allows you to install things that you want. It allows you to remove things you don't want. Okay? So, here's what we're going to do. You all have something that you want to change, yes or yes? Okay, so I usually recommend that we don't do a Godzilla level thing, but since I'm guiding you, if you want to pick something that you want to change for the better, we'll go with it, all right? Now, keep in mind that some of you may do this slower than I'm going. Some of you may do it faster because you know the technique and you're experienced with it. Just understand that if your unconscious mind can hear my words, your unconscious mind can automatically follow the process. Just let it happen. Okay? Okay. The secret to controlling your subconscious mind is to love your subconscious mind and play with your imagination. Okay? In your manuals, you'll see the 6 dynamics of an unconscious response and why you need to know them. You'll see all about energy-centered body psychotherapy and the somatic search engine, somatic engage, all the things that I am doing that make these techniques the power that they are. You don't need to know all those things to be able to do the technique. You just got to point to where you feel it, have a fun, playful, explorational attitude, tap into your ability to pretend, and just play. It really is that simple. And we're going to experience that. You don't need to overthink it, right? If I told you none of the things that I just told you, this technique would still work. Okay? So here's the first thing I want you to do. Close your eyes, think of something you want to change. I recommend you start with something low, but I know most of you won't, but that's okay. Close your eyes, point to where you feel it. As you point to where you feel it, notice there's a color. Maybe even a series of colors connected to that feeling. Just understand what that color is for you, first impression. And if there were a picture floating in the space around you that represented that feeling and the reason behind it, a picture that you could reach out and touch. Take your non-dominant hand, reach out, touch that picture. Now take the other hand, trace the outline of that picture with both of your hands so you know how big it is. And just make sure we got the right one. Grab the edges of it with both of your hands. Make it bigger and notice, does the feeling get stronger or weaker? Make it smaller. Does the feeling get stronger or weaker? Move it closer to your body. Does the feeling get stronger or weaker? When you got that, put it back to where it was. As you look at that picture, I want you to imagine that you can put a big, thick, black picture frame all the way around it. The bigger and thicker and blacker, the better. And now, most of you are probably too young to remember when televisions had real dials and knobs and switches instead of touch screens and remote controls. But I want you to feel along the base of that frame. And as you feel along the base of that frame, you're going to notice some dials and knobs and switches like on an old style television. I want you to find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast. I want you to turn that knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Turn the knob all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Decide for yourself which one you like better. Whatever one you like better. If you like to white it out, turn it all the way to the white until the image whites out completely. If you like it blacked out, turn it all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. When you know that's done, take the index finger of your dominant hand, and in glowing golden letters, there were some special lessons that this experience had to teach you. Positive or negative, I want you to take your magic finger and in glowing golden letters, I want you to write across that whited out or blacked out screen everything this experience had to teach you, positive or negative, so you could keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now some people, they know instantly what those lessons were and they put them on that screen, lickety-split, no problem. Some people have no conscious idea what the lessons were, but that's okay, because your unconscious mind always knows. And just like automatic writing, I just want you to let the unconscious mind begin to jot down in its own language what those lessons are. As they come up, they come out. As you feel them, you reveal them. As you reveal them, you heal them. Now, some people draw squiggles. Some people draw pictures. Some people get pissed off and write, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you across the screen. Some people write with both fingers simultaneously, like they're writing Chinese and Hebrew at the same time. However your neurology does it, it's perfectly okay. If feelings and emotions come up, put them on the screen. The screen will scroll like a tablet scroll, so you have an unlimited, infinite writing space. And just keep writing. As those feelings come up, they come out. As you feel them, you reveal them. As you reveal them, you heal them. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the body. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the mind for all the right reasons. When you know it's done, all the lessons are kept and everything else has been let go. Reach up with both of your hands. Take that frame and shrink it, the image inside of it, all the way down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That unconscious mind moves that postage-sized stamp thing all the way back behind you, back beyond the horizon until it disappears completely. And you know the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail, or a nail gun banging in multiple nails. Feel it nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. And when you know it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back, test it. Try to bring it back. And notice what happens instead. And when you're done testing, type in the chat what you discovered. Eddie says done. I am now protected. Yes. How many of you broke out in a sweat? Anybody? Or twitched or yawned? Cold? Yep. Done? Yep. Deal sweat? Yep. Yawning, clearing, sweating? Yep. It's not coming back. Most of the things that keep us stuck, believe it or not, okay, most of the things that keep us, my initial color was gold, okay, not coming back, thank you. Very good. All right. Why the yawn? Yawning is a sign of physical processing. There's all kinds of, the Taoists call it the 8 energetic touches. Okay? Some people laugh, some people yawn, some people cry, some people twitch, some people get warm all over, some people break out in sweat, some people heave, like they want to throw up, some people choke. Everybody has different ways of expressing the transformation process, but all of it is just a sign of emotional purging. The body's getting rid of the emotional toxicity that it's been locked in the tissues because it's now no longer necessary. So, historically, anytime I became calm, I immediately got a migraine. Of course, the training left me with a migraine. Now it is gone. And I know why it was happening. Weird, because it was so clear. Yes. Want to sleep. Perfect. Stomach does feel sick. That's what they're all transitory. They're going to pass. But let me explain something that this gentleman who used to get the migraine brought up. How many of you noticed as soon as that thing started going back there, you started thinking about the event differently? It was like all of a sudden, oh, I understand that now. We call that a spontaneous reframe. And it's almost, in any intervention that works, will result in a spontaneous reframe. You'll understand that whole experience from a completely different viewpoint. Now, a lot of systems, like especially NLP, will try to have, the practitioner will try to reframe it for you. But many times, when you've successfully transformed that vibrational energetic construct, the reframe happens automatically. And that's one of the ways that you know it's done. Okay? And you can do this technique for migraines as well. You just ask a slightly different question. There's a reason this migraine is there, and there's a feeling connected to that reason. Where in my body do I feel it? Point to where you feel it. Boom. Reach out, touch the picture, and do it again. Doesn't matter if it's a physical or mental or emotional pain. Doesn't matter. Your nervous system doesn't care. Yeah, a lot of times people will they'll heave, but they won't actually vomit. They'll go through the motions because they're not physically vomiting. They're energetically and emotionally vomiting. Again, your body mirrors what the energy body and the spirit body does. All right, it's all connected, right? And that's one of the reasons that this works so powerful. David, is it possible to address a physical hiatal hernia? Possibly. I've never worked with a hernia, but I've seen weirder shit happen. Like I said, if you're a healer, whether you're a medical doctor, a Qigong healer, a Reiki person, this repertoire of techniques is an absolute game changer. What if the picture keeps coming back? If the picture keeps coming back, Alessandra, what you're dealing with is a reason for holding on to it. And so there's a feeling connected to the reason you're holding on to it. Where in your body does the feeling connected to that reason live? Now do a magic frame on that one, and then you'll find the first picture is easier to get rid of. Yeah. Remember, for every unit of energy you keep stored in your body, you need an equal or lesser amount of energy to keep it there. And your body has a finite amount of energy reserves. So you're going to, again, these interventions are very, very quick, but they're very deep. And the purging keeps happening. So the idea behind this is when you trigger this process in you, let it come out. Right? Don't try to measure it, manage it, make it happen faster. Don't try to analyze it. Just let it happen. Fully experience everything. Because as it comes up, it comes out. And when it's out, it's gone. As you feel it, you reveal it. As you reveal it, you heal it. This is one of the things that screws us up when it comes to transformation. Our body wants to purge these feelings by bringing them back up. But we don't understand that process, so our conscious mind creates an oh shit narrative around the body feelings as, oh no, we don't want to think about that. So we stuff it back down. And every time you stuff it back down, you make it stronger. The secret is when it comes up, let it. Let it come out, because then you're done. Okay? You'll learn all about this in your Identity by Design training, your personality transformation training, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. Again, this is level 2 of the 7-stage process. Is this powerful? Yes or yes? Okay? All right. That being said, we've kind of hit our limit for today. I want to thank you all for spending the night with me in that non-weird way. For those of you who are interested and who have been on the fence up until now, this is the last chance to qualify for those 3 fast action bonuses. You have until 11:59 tonight to get the core package, but if you want the NLP Power Mastermind mentoring program, the Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, and the VIP Anything Goes super ticket, you need to grab it before I log off the webinar tonight. Cynthia says, thank you, David. You are a true blessing. Well, thank you very much. I'm honored. Pay it forward. It's Edie, not Eddie. Thank you for correcting me. I wish you'd have corrected me sooner, Edie. All right. So once again, just to remind you, Secrets of Personality Transformation, Universal Mind Control Training Home Study Course, $2,497 value. Identity by Design, Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, $1,497. We're going to give it to you free. Hidden Laws of Attraction, Manifestation, and Mind Control, $1,497. Free. Stealth CPI, Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,950 value. Free. Renegade Reframing, Objection Obliteration, and the Art of Conversational Belief Change, $1,950 value. Free. Stealth, or NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, $1,597 value. Free. Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value. Free. And finally, VIP, Anything Goes Super Ticket, your choice of any single live 3 to 5 day event in any of our calendars from now until the end of time, $2,250 value. Yours absolutely free. All you got to do to get yours. Go now. Go now. Go now. For just $997, you can get it all. $13,325 worth of training that will change every aspect of your life. 60 days to try it out. $997 or 3 easy installments of $397. Click this link, click this link, click this link now. www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. Click the link. One more time with feeling. www.davidsnydernlp.com/MIND. Click the link. Click the link. Click the link. This is the last call. All right? And we'll see you on the other side. Good night. Hold on a second. In the words of the immortal Cal Burnett, this is my ritual. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started. And before you know it, comes the time we have to say, so long, my friends. Use your technology well. Go out, make your life everything you want it to be, and I will see you